who's out there listening, and thank you for coming and joining in with our live stream of the Witchefire Trilogy, the original trilogy that they set for Iron Kingdoms back in the day when Iron Kingdoms was 3.5's best campaign setting.
Here, here. Much better than that Eberron one.
Yeah, oh, that Faerun bullshit.
Crap.
Who cares about that? So, oh look, we have a Det and we have a Jeff. Hey, Jeff. So, last we left off, we haven't played for a little while, have we? It doesn't feel like we've played for a long time.
Let's see. Yeah, it's been over a month.
Okay. And in that time, all of Corvis has been drowned by a flood. What? And everybody lives on boats now. It's now Waterworld, the game.
I want to eat lobster.
Do we live on rafts made of the bodies?
If you're lucky.
Because...
I do, thanks.
Yeah.
I want to eat lobster.
Yeah?
Yes.
You'll have all the lobster you want. If you can dive for it.
I've got gills in the side of my head.
Excellent.
I was genetically engineered by the government to do this. And later, when the world dries up, I'm going to be a postman.
Oh, I'm gonna.
God.
Oh my God. And then you're gonna change your name to Kevin.
Yes.
That's awesome.
You're going to be a postman until the secret agency needs you back to, because you forgot something very important for them.
Okay, I'm on this page. I'm on a different page. I'm currently moving through. All right, I'm on the page that I need to be on, kind of.
Yay.
All right, so last we left off, you guys found, or went to go find Agon. You retrieved him from his sabbatical in the woods, living off of nature. See you later, Jeff. And
I'll be right back.
okay, and Inari has somehow gotten back into the good graces of Taka, who is supposed to be talking to them, but I don't remember if he's gotten back with you yet. I think he said he was going to discuss your talents.
He told me to show up on Monday at
yes.
lunchtime.
Excellent. So that's as you did work that impressed him so much that he says that if they don't let you back in, he's going to quit, and you two will work together on things. So,
because you did math.
Because you know how to do math good.
You proved with your schematics.
Yes, your schematics that were very similar to things that he was already working on, and you guys were working on them separately. And now you'll be working on them together, hopefully. One way or another. Everyone else has kind of been moving along with the rest of with the Agons and Inari's stories for the past couple game sessions.
It was a transition.
Yeah, some transitions. And I believe that Robin, your character, was able to, is starting to get closer to learning more about Cyrus? Or is that outside of game? You're getting into astronomy. That's right.
Yes, getting into astronomy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Excellent. And, let's see, is John coming back anytime soon?
It's close to that time of delivery is about to happen.
Yeah, he's getting food right now.
Okay.
We'll be back in a second.
Okay, not a problem. And then Emmett, you
I've stopped drinking.
You have stopped drinking, number one, and number two has a much more serious outlook on life since you've stopped drinking because you made a mistake when you were wasted.
Mm-hmm. A mistake that, as far as I know, has probably cost a good friend her job.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we are actually going to be picking up with John. We have some important things to discuss, but before we do, then I will I will remind everyone, because I remembered myself, that you need to remember that you all have a voucher for a melee weapon sold at Bodok's Blades. You guys got that by retrieving the Thunder Wicket from its that adventure. Several
Exact. Retrieving the Thunder Wicket's nameplate.
Yeah, exactly. Where you successfully found the plate after it fell off and it was invaded by a energy monster. All sorts of fun, complicated things. Infiltress Crossing, no less. And you all survived, and that was part of your payment. So I just wanted to remind you guys that it was there, because nobody's said that they've claimed anything from it yet, so just in case you guys forgot. And let's see. What's the ETA on John's getting back?
Oh yeah, I do have that written down.
What?
John?
Oh,
The writ for Bodok's
Switch,
Blades.
and I'll get things. Sorry.
it's okay. Blah blah. Alright, yes. So, we are actually starting tonight's game session off with Yashiram! You okay? I know.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Okay.
I didn't know that noise was going to be happening. I would have muted.
That's okay. No problem.
Yeah.
So, I don't really remember exactly where everyone was at the end of last game session, if you all were together or not. So at this point, I'm actually going to say that you all are not together, and that John, Yashiram, it's a new day, it's a great morning, and you're heading over to check on the widow Cromwell Pickett.
Okay, yeah.
Because you have to go pick up two boys that are highly excited about today's training session.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make sure that I bring my my customary gifts of meats and breads and cheeses and stuff.
Do you bring any
for the
wine,
family.
for the widower?
I suppose it's not an inappropriate platonic gift to give wine, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay. How has your relationship with the widow Pickett? Tell us a little bit about how you see your relationship right now with her.
So I very much see it as a I don't know, kind of like watching out for a good friend who's gone, because he was my partner, and it wasn't like an everyday part of the job that he got lost to. It was a bunch of freaking zombies roaming the streets.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's like a sense of responsibility, but like it's not like I have any real family anywhere around here, so yeah, I pitch in to help take care of his.
Okay.
Certainly nothing romantic, if that's what you mean.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean,
let's see.
she's only like 5 years older than you.
Yeah.
There's not that big of an age difference, and she's still quite handsome.
I mean, yeah. So he would have no intention of pursuing that kind of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that they've just sat down and had like the talk on where they see everything going. So.
Okay. I just wanted to get your impression as the player for your relationship, and so I wanted to just make sure that if I start doing shenanigans, you'll react in an appropriate way. to your character. So,
Okay.
you arrive at the Widow Pickett's house, and you hear squealing on the other side of the door before you even knock on it. There's, like, I don't know how you do it, you hear running down the stairs, you know that sound. You hear, like, running around, squealing and shouting. Sounds like there's a whole general ruckus going on in the house at the moment. You might have to, use your watchman's prerogative to invite yourself in and see what the hell's going on.
Does it sound like someone's calling for help in there? Because then I'm legally obligated to break in the door.
Let's see. Evens or odds?
Oh gosh, let's go with odds.
It was evens! Yes, there's somebody shouting for help. It sounds like a feminine voice.
Okay, so
Not a mature feminine voice either. So
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to check to see if the door is locked.
Okay. The door's not locked. This is not really
Yeah.
the time where locks are extremely prevalent everywhere.
Okay, so I'm going to do a stealth roll so that I can stealthily open the door,
Excellent. Go for it.
unnoticed by whatever criminals may be lingering inside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this is the stealthiest I have ever been in my life. I rolled a 20, so I get a 24.
Holy crap. Yeah, you sneak in, like your ancestors would back in the day.
So yes,
Yeah.
that's the thing. All these times I've been trying to sneak, I was out in the woods. I don't belong out in the woods.
No, you
You
don't.
know, I sneak around the city. I
Yep.
sneak in the forest.
Exactly.
That's all. Wrong location.
Wrong location. Your home is in the city. So
Yep.
you open the door very slowly. You even remember helping to fix the door so it would stop creaking. So now that's to your advantage because you remembered that, and you're able to come into the house and close the door behind you without making a sound. In fact, so much so that the little boy racing back down the stairs doesn't even pay attention to you because the stairs are pretty much almost right in front of the door. There's this big wardrobe where all the coats and stuff stay, so it's kind of blocking the view halfway, but most of the time it would be quite noticeable.
Right.
Do you remember the names of the two little boys?
I do. The older one is Wally, and the younger one is Sid.
Yes. So
Yep.
you see Sid is the one that's tearing down the stairs. He's taking him 3 at a time, and when he comes down, he hooks his arm around the last banister to flip himself back towards the kitchen. So he's does this spin around and then uses his momentum to carry himself forward towards the kitchens, where it sounds like most of the screaming is coming from.
Oh goodness. So this could be the Cromwell's daughter. I can't remember her name.
She had
Might have gotten caught up in some shenanigans.
Yeah, because I believe it was the daughter, and then she had 2 brothers as well. An older
Yeah.
brother that was in his teens, that was now the quote-unquote man of the house, and then the middle brother, which I can't remember their names either right now, but that's okay.
Okay, so
I'd have to pull them up on another document, and it's on my other computer, so...
is it just Wally that's running, or is there anybody chasing
well,
after him?
No, Sid was the one you saw. Turn
Sid.
around, and you don't see anybody coming after him. You assume that the other stompings before you got the door open may have been the other kids coming down the stairs.
Okay. So I would like to and I don't want to follow Sid. I kind of want to creep around from the other direction to see if I can see what was happening in the kitchen. And I now I'm just trying to sneak up on somebody.
Okay, well,
'Cause-
There's only really one way to go, like, the opposite way, and that would be going outside and hopping over the little gated fence thing to go to the back of the kitchen. The way that their house is set up is kind of like a shotgun hallway that goes from the door all the way to the kitchen area, and then there's rooms off to the side. So you can, like, come up to the room, look in the room, make sure you don't see anybody, and then move past it, and to kind of get to where all of the shenaniganry is occurring.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'll sneak around the stair, and that leads to another hallway that the kitchen is on, right?
Yeah, so you'll go past the stairs, and then there's a hall, there's a room there, and then you go down a little bit more, and then there's, like, the dining room area, and then just beyond that is the kitchen. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll sneak down and check each room as I pass it.
Okay.
Just to make sure there's nobody in there.
Okay, so you walk by, and no, there's nobody in the room, and as you get closer to the dining room, I'm going to say that the dining room is, like, in between the kitchen and the rest of the house, so it's kind of like a smaller but open space. So as you get closer to the dining room, you stop yourself before you start looking into the room, because then you hear footsteps coming back, like, and then you hear the table chairs jerking around, like, on hardwood. So the wood scraping on wood sounds. Do you remember, like, out of character, do you remember Grandma Joe's dining room table with the giant chairs and stuff? Absolutely. That was like, and everything just creaks and moans and like, it's. Imagine that kind of setup when you imagine their dining room.
Excellent.
So, so you think that they are now attacking the dining room furniture?
Okay.
The vandals and ruffians in the house.
Okay, let's see. So,
and if you'd like to go ahead and take some of that description, what you think you'll see when you turn the corner, please feel free.
Okay. So I honestly don't think that it's bandits and ruffians. But if I can catch one of these boys and, like, really scare the pants off of them, that would just be. They deserve it. They're running around the house like animals. So, this is not how men of the watch conduct themselves in a respectable home. So now they have to be surprise punished. So.
Surprise! Smack you with a belt.
No. It's surprise. Oh my gosh, I think I peed myself a little bit. Actually.
That would be really scary.
Yeah. So, I'm going to quietly take off my overcoat, and
it's not set up right.
Is everything cool?
No. Give me a timeout. It's not set up right.
I don't know how to fix what you see, so
Yeah.
I'll just get out of your way.
Thank you. Oh, priest. Okay, everything's fine now. Alright. So.
Alright. So, based on the footsteps, there's 2 or 3 kids in there right now, I'm thinking.
Yes. Based on the footsteps, you actually think there's 2 in the dining room, 1 maybe coming into the dining room, and 1 definitely still back in the kitchen because you hear some pots and pans rattling.
Okay. Alright, so I am going to take off my overcoat, and right before I come around the corner to scare these kids, I'm going to fling the coat out past the opening so that it looks like, maybe somebody is jumping into the room as I'm coming around the corner to try and make them think that there's multiple people jumping into the kitchen.
Okay. I believe
really
that's
throw 'em
a
off.
bluff roll.
Okay. So is there any way I could sprinkle some acrobatics to make the coat look like it's jumping into the room?
Say that one more time.
Could I also use some acrobatics in my role so that I can make the coat look like it's jumping into the room?
Yeah. You go ahead and do a +2 using, assuming that you have acrobatics. Because what's your base acrobatics score?
Is a +6.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and do a +2 to your bluff roll.
All right, here we go. Oh my gosh. So I rolled a 2, so it's only a 7 total.
Awesome. Well, you didn't completely fail, so there's that.
Right. So I just kind of fling the coat.
Yeah. So
in the direction.
go ahead.
So there's oh gosh, what is his first name? I don't think I have that. So anyways, Miss Pickett, she keeps a bowl of fresh fruit on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever she has fresh fruit, so that it's out there. So I fling the coat into the bowl of fruit and knocking it off the table.
So yeah. Okay.
How's that for a bad roll?
That's good. So, yeah. You charge in, throwing your coat at the table, and it hits the fruit and, grapes. Or currants, I would say, bunches of currants and, tiny apples and stuff, just spray everywhere. And pelt the children. You see, the daughter. Gosh, I can't. Anyway, you see her, and you see Wally and the middle brother. Are in the kitchen or in the dining room area, and you see that the younger. The middle sibling, the boy, we'll say Brad for right now because I can't remember their names. He is wearing one of the colanders over his head like a helmet, and he's got this stick that looks like they fashioned into some sort of sword thing, and so he's chasing Wally around shouting and trying to hit him with this stick, and then the girl was actually up on the table. So she got pelted with fruit the most, because she was jumping up and running across the table and trying to catch Brad, and then as the three of them are because they see some sort of new monsters joined the playtime they weren't expecting, and Sid runs through from the kitchens with another pot. He's got a pot helmet basically on his head, and the other one's got a colander helmet, and he's yeah, and he's got he's got a wooden spoon and a metal spoon, coming in to save the day, because the little girl was actually playing the damsel in distress. And so they were trying to, there was a whole lot of stuff happening. They were tearing through the house. And when they see you, the little girl hops off the table very quickly and then goes and hides behind the boys as they're standing in a very awkward way. You see Sid's stopped in the doorway with the two hands up, ready to attack somebody. And then he's so he's frozen in that, and then the other two, Wally trips when he sees you because the coat falls off onto the table, onto the floor, and so he trips over it, allowing Brad to hit him in the back, like once with his little makeshift, which now you realize it's also a wooden spoon.
Oh god.
So,
So when Sid falls forward,
when Wally
He
falls
drop-
forward, yeah.
yeah. Wait, I thought Sid was just
Sid
the one
is
falling.
Sid is frozen in place in the doorway to
Oh,
the
okay.
kitchen, and Wally's
So
the
you-
one that tripped over your coat.
Okay, yeah. So when Wally falls over, and he drops the wooden spoon that he was holding, I pick it up, and take my on guard stance, facing the two boys that are still standing.
So everything just kind of freezes in time for a moment, and they're like, not sure. And then Sid does this like shrieking battle cry, which now you recognize as the scream from outside the door earlier. and charges at you, shaking the other two, the girl and the brother Brad, to also start attacking you as well. Roll for initiative.
Excellent. Oh my gosh. 14.
Oh, not so bad. Sid rolled a 19 on the dice.
Okay. He is motivated.
So he comes at you with dual wielding spoons, and he takes a strike at your kneecaps.
Thigh.
A thigh, not a kneecap. Kneecaps are gentle things.
Kids tried to kneecap me.
I know, right?
Thought we were friends.
Let's see, an 8.
Um, so, no.
Okay, and then he's got his offhand. How much is when you don't have 2-weapon fighting? What's the minus for an offhand? 6?
Oh god,
Eight.
they're both light weapons, so he's looking at a -4, -8.
Okay.
But he's got small size, +1 to hit.
Yeah.
Probably a high dexterity to use them with.
Yeah. Looks like it's a 9.
Wow, that was a really good roll.
I know.
What do you get?
A 9.
Oh no. Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah, so one of them I like draw my leg back out of the way, and the second one I parry with my spoon.
Excellent. All right, now it's your turn.
All right. So I'm gonna. That was Sid who charged at me, right?
Yes.
So
Wally is on the
Um,
ground next to you, and Brad is flanking on your back.
okay, so I'm gonna let Sid like move past me with his charge, like kind of like step past
Mm-hmm.
and like forward past him, and see if I can hit Brad with a glancing blow.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to break the spoon on him.
Right.
And you know,
You're gonna pull your punch.
yeah.
Non-lethal damage.
Can you pull your punch with spoons?
Yes.
Pretty sure spoons can't even do lethal damage.
They can't.
I'm sure you have to be like a monk of at least 12th level before your spoon will hurt someone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Unless you use a grapefruit spoon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I roll a 1. I think that I might trip over my own coat just like Wally did.
I think you did. So you shift back and do a nice twisting maneuver to send Sid flying past you out of the way, and then you turn to try to get to Brad, and you realize that step back got your leg all twisted up in your coat, and so you bring that leg forward and you can't, and you fall on your butt.
Oh no! Now I'm prone on the battlefield.
Yep. All right. And now Brad will attack you. Oh. Well, he rolled an 18 on the dice, and I think that he probably will get at least a +2.
Is he proficient with spoons?
No,
Then he's got a +0.
never mind. He's
But
got
he's small size.
That's true.
That's a +1.
19,
Was he blessed by his sister before he went in?
obviously.
Then that's another +1.
Okay.
That's a 20.
And prone, does that take away my dex?
You suffer a -2 to your dexterity. So, yeah, that's that.
Okay, so it's a whole -1.
Yes.
Yeah, he still hits me because it's only 16. So.
So he raps you sharply on the knuckles, trying to disarm you.
Oh no!
And does a whopping no points of damage.
Oh, good. I
But
was afraid I might lose my weapon.
But your knuckles do smart quite a bit, so.
Oh.
And
Excellent.
then lastly, the girl, seeing that you're prone on the ground and she's still on the table, kind of.
Berserker.
She's
Oh, no.
she was on the other side of the table, and so she was trying to avoid things because she was gonna hide behind everybody and not get in trouble. But then you started to play, and so she leaps back on the table and runs and sees you falling down, and then she sails forward to attack you from the table.
Oh my god.
She critted.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Oh,
Good deal.
God.
No matter her bonuses, she's done damage. Head-to-head
Hopefully
combat.
Hopefully she lands on my diaphragm and not any lower. 'Cause I'm okay being out of breath.
Yeah.
Percentile.
Okay, so she's running and she's diving, and the 20 means that she actually went too far. And instead of, like, you know, just being the playful, like, haha, I got you, she actually does launch herself off of the table, and the next thing you know, you have a face full of child head as she slams into your forehead with hers.
Oh no. Wait, can I
Luftwaffe
can I make-
attack.
Can you
make
what?
Can I make a roll to see if maybe I can catch her as she's coming in?
Yes, I'll allow an acrobatics.
I'll let it happen.
Okay.
Children are resilient.
They are resilient, but I'd like to see
Yeah.
him fail.
Okay. Wow.
Jesus.
And this is how you know that the GM is evil.
Okay, I got an 18 to catch her coming in.
An 18 is not high enough.
Oh.
I was gonna do a 20.
Fair
You know, a
enough.
24-20. But you're close. You kind of like you grab like her waist, but her head forward momentum for her head is still going forward. So it's boom, she headbutts you so hard.
Oh gosh.
right
He's
right
fine.
right here, like right in between the eyes, where
Oh, gosh.
where like a brawler would know where to headbutt on purpose. She found it on accident.
Nice.
Oh man, so the whole table, the whole game just completely stops. Like, there's that one moment in time, and I'm gonna let you figure out how to react to it. That moment where a child has when they've done something to possibly hurt themselves. They look around to see what everybody else is doing to react, and that's going to be the decision on whether they start crying and freaking out or laughing it off.
Okay,
It's one of them
so,
moments.
So I am gonna do a bluff roll to pretend like I got knocked out.
You're gonna make that poor little girl cry.
Play dead, dude. Go dead all the
Yeah.
way. Like, she kills you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go totally limp.
Are you going
Eyes closed
to
and everything.
are you going to do it in a realistic sense, or are you going to do it in a theatrical sense?
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go way over the top. So I guess it would be a performance roll.
Yes.
There you go.
It would be.
Okay. Still the same bonus because it's not a gun trick. But yeah, I'm gonna be like, woe is me. Say goodbye to my loved ones for me.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is the worst acting anyone's ever seen. I got a 7.
Okay. So describe your performance in a way that is so over the top and exaggerated that they think it's stupid and silly instead of you actually dying.
Okay. So.
Because the higher you roll, the more it would be realistic. That's what I was going with.
Oh, okay. So I'll like, I'll pop up like I'm sitting up really quick, and you know like picking the girl up at the same time and be like, and like kind of like set her off to the side, and it'll be like, oh, woe is me, oh, this blow to mine head is, oh, it's more than I could bear, and lay back down, and and then like kick my legs a little bit.
And then, like, peek one eye open a little bit.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah. and everyone's still looking.
Well, that seems to do the trick. The
Don't
crack...
forget to stick your tongue out.
Oh, yeah.
That too. Tongue hanging out of the side of my mouth.
That seems to have done the trick. And, as the kids are, like, realizing that everything's fine, and, you know, like, and... the girl, she just reaches up and, like, rubs her head a little bit and, like, you know, brushes it off the way little children are amazing at doing. And then you hear a clapping from the doorway.
Uh-oh. I think we all got caught.
Do you say that?
Yeah.
You sit up, realizing that you've been caught by the widow Pickett, standing in the door frame with her oldest. The oldest is obviously looking like, oh my god, guys, are you serious? But the widow Pickett is grinning and clapping at your wonderful performance.
So, seeing that she is now part of the audience, I'll get like really serious and be like, kids, what did I tell you about running around the house like that? It's all fun and games until somebody gets hit in the head and dies. And I'll pick my coat up and like, you know, like fold it and drape it over one of the chairs and stuff. And, you know, yeah. 'Cause I'm an adult.
She will, she'll laugh at that, like, a very hearty chuckle, and then tells the two boys that they need to get ready to go, it's training soon, and then the little girl's like, I want to go to training too, and then the older boy's like, you can't go to training because you're a girl. Not really the older one, the middle one would do that.
No, I was I don't know if we had previously discussed who was going to be welcome at the training school.
We have not.
Yeah, I think that Yushirin would definitely feel it inappropriate to exclude girls from the school.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, what does Yashirim do to react to this situation?
Okay, so this is probably the first time that she's shown any interest in it, or else I would have been prepared already.
Yeah, well, you have noticed over the course of the few weeks that you've been getting these kinds of things set up, the trading stuff set up, that she likes to go and play with her new friends, the two boys, because they're closer in age. And her brother is so boring, so they go on these crazy make-believe adventures. And so she's very tomboyish.
Okay.
So it might not have come up, but you know that she likes to play roughhousing games with her friends.
Okay. And she's like the same age as Sid, or is she a little bit younger?
She's the same age as Sid. You think.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah.
Alright, so, I will pull out one of the little, rule guidebooks for the club. Like, it's not a club; it's for the school or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And hand her a copy and I'll say when you have these rules memorized, then you can come to training.
So she perks up and she looks at her mom.
Oh yeah, and so when I see her eyes shoot over, I'll be like, with your mother's permission, of course.
So we'll discuss it. Yeah, and of course the girl takes that to mean as yes, this is happening, and she takes the pamphlet out of your hands and runs out of the room and up the stairs before her mother can take it away from her. So
Excellent.
yes. And in fact, you know that there's already at least one girl there because Thomasina has decided to join the school as well as Milo. When they don't have their private tutor, they go over and they do training and they show off their skills and everybody's so impressed with them.
Excellent.
You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Thomasina's a little bit of a show off.
No.
So, then, so yeah. So, where did you set the items that you brought when you were sneaking in? Did you leave it by the door? Did you bring it into the house?
No, yeah, I would have left them like inside the doorway by the coat hat rack area.
So
yeah.
So she's so the widow picket is holding the basket that you brought, the bag of groceries, and she says, "Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to see you."
Mm-hmm.
What's your last name? Imari? It's Imari.
Yes, Inari.
What do you call it? Would she call you Mr. Imari, or would she use your first name?
I mean, it's been
A little bit.
yeah, like several months since.
I would say
Longest night?
no. It's been more like several weeks, maybe a couple months. Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
We might
I
be
think
getting
it-
close to 2.
Yeah.
I think that we'd be first name
Okay.
appropriate. Yeah.
Excellent.
You know, we're not royalty or anything, so
Right.
you know.
Sounds good. It's always a pleasure to see you, Yashiram, and the children obviously love you.
No. Okay, so we should probably decide on a name for her, so that I don't call her Widow Pickett.
Okay. How about Victoria?
Ooh, Victoria. Okay.
It's a very...
Victoria. No, the pleasure is all mine.
I can see.
Yeah. But, you
With
know,
with
it's
your
not
giant, with your like red spot right here, and your eyes are watering.
Yep. Yep.
Ah.
I just can't go to sleep anytime soon. I might be concussed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about some tea? Maybe that'll help clear your head.
Yeah. That would be fantastic.
So, you make you some tea, and do you have anything that you wish to discuss with her?
Sorry, Sarah's like nudging me,
I
but she
know.
obviously missed the part of the conversation where I'm not romantically interested in her. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're good with kids.
Okay.
She's a widow.
Okay.
Mom.
Let's see. Is there anything? I mean, other than just generally making sure that everything is going well around the house and the boys aren't too much of an extra strain on her.
Oh, okay.
That kind of stuff.
Well, you have been providing a stipend for them as well, so there hasn't been any problems with finances to keep everybody fed. She doesn't have to work. Remember, with the money that you've allotted for taking care of them, she just chooses to do like some seamstressing stuff.
Yeah.
And so she asks if like, so what will we call the other one? Amelia. We'll say Amelia. Write these things down, John.
Okay.
Victoria, Emilia,
Yeah.
Milo.
Very, very fancy names.
Hold on.
We need someone in the game named Bubba.
Bubba John.
Yeah, we
I mean-
really need. We're in a swamp, and there are no swamp names. There's all civilized
Yeah,
European
this is the
names.
whole. That's the whole facade.
Okay, so wait, what was the little girl's name?
Amelia.
Amelia. Okay.
Swamp Bob.
I mean, you're dealing with somebody who's like rather high class-ish. You know, they're middle class-ish, so you know they would have like those fancy pants names.
Swamp Bob can be the cat.
Yeah.
The outside cat. How old would you say Brad is, the younger of the two sons?
We'll call him Bubba for you.
Who?
No.
No, no.
Yeah, don't do that. Not
We'll
for
say,
me.
yeah, we'll say Bradley. Bradley is his name.
Bradley.
Mhm.
The people over near where my character lives might have
Yeah, they would have those
John
names.
Bob, Anthony,
and-
Anthony 2, Anthony 3.
Bradley is 11.
Okay.
Amelia is 7.
Okay.
And then let's see, Gareth
Gareth
is the oldest, and
Okay.
he is 14.
Yep.
You're the babe.
So like, why would Gareth go to the school? Is he
Angsty teenager.
just like old enough to get a job now?
Yeah, he's old enough to get a job now, and
Okay.
he
Probably.
has a job, and he is an apprentice at, let's see, what should he apprentice?
Bag maker, cartwright, tanner, dyer, bolt turner. Where's he live at?
They live, I think it was in this particular
What are
area.
those numbers nearby?
Let's see, there's a 3. I
3
think.
is Eastgate. No,
Oh, no, that's not, maybe that's an 8.
that's an 8. That's the Fallen Star Tavern. Isn't
then
that the place
11.
I go?
Garworth's Emporium. No, you go to the Quad Iron Inn. That's over here. Garworth's Emporium and the Corvis Caravaneers Guild is nearby. So
Okay, so an emporium, he's a stalker.
Yeah.
He goes there and stocks stuff on shelves. He unloads carts when they come in. He probably works 2 jobs, unloading for the emporium and working at the cartwrights to be one of the kids that turn the mill when the water's not flowing.
yeah, so he has a job. He's very proud of his job, and one day he's like he plans on being one of the main clerks in Garworth's Emporium, because it's a very fancy place to work. Or if he goes with the cartwright stuff, then he'll probably join the Caravanners Guild.
Okay.
And I just want to point out, if this is the area they live in, at 8, I beat the crap out of a halfling that was dressed as a child.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, I got notes right here.
Nice.
I went to jail over that stuff. I'm not going to forget that.
It's okay.
He wants to be a grocer. Yeah, yeah, you know. He wants to. He's thinking about like being a merchant is what he's gearing himself up for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
You're
was.
an accountant.
Yeah, exactly. He's not. You can tell that his personality, like, he looks a lot like Cromwell does, but his personality is much more like his mother's personality as far as like the things that he likes to do and what he's good at. You know,
Yeah.
he's
He like-
Homebody.
Yeah, he likes to keep things like
He's-
in order.
yeah, he's got a
Like-
lot of book smarts, and he
Yeah.
doesn't really feel like he wants to do law enforcement because that's dirty work.
Touche.
Again, accountant.
Yeah.
That'll be fantastic. He'll make a lot of money.
My son's an accountant. Anyways.
So yes, but that's why
I'm fine with
he's old enough to have his own jobs, and he does. You know, he could support the family, but he doesn't have to. So now he can save up to go, like, do the things that he really wants to do, like merchant stuff. Because you gotta have money to make money when you're a merchant.
Sure.
True. Yeah. So I would also try to like include Gareth in conversations since he is like the man of the house.
Oh, definitely.
I wouldn't want him to feel like I'm
Butting in
intruding
on his
his
mom.
space kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on tip.
Yeah.
Great. So what kinds of things do you talk to Gareth about?
Let's see. Am I intelligent enough to talk about anything that he? Yeah, I could. So, like if he ever talks about, like his future plans for being a merchant and stuff, I can
Yeah.
tell him about the caravans that I helped guard and like what kinds of goods I saw moving where and
Excellent.
like tell him some travel stories.
Do you spare any of the like not so nice details, or do you tell him all of like how it really is on the road kind of thing? Do you romanticize it, or do you tell it like it is?
So I wouldn't want to be like graphic in my descriptions, but it would be kind of like sugar-coated honesty about how it can be.
Okay.
Like you can see all these great things and different places and have all these experiences, but like sometimes there's a cost. You get attacked by gobbers in the swamp, or things of that nature.
You don't get to take a bath for several days.
Yeah.
No.
Since sometimes the guy driving the wagon hasn't taken a bath maybe in his entire life.
Rinse off every once in a while.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. He just doesn't wear his raincoat when it rains, and that's his shower.
Gross.
So he enjoys hearing these stories from you, and the more that you describe, the more he realizes that he wants to be the one to like send people on these trips, and maybe not necessarily being the one taking the trips unless he can take it in relative comfort.
Yeah.
So he asks you a lot of questions about like the merchants that hired you. Did they travel with you? Did you like have to do like all the kinds of things that you had to do as part of your job, and what the people who were paying you to do their job, what kind of stuff did they do? He's very
Right.
interested in what the people that hired you did, because he wants to know. He wants to learn how to lead a caravan before he even has to do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely tell him. Most of the time, well, I guess maybe it's like 50-50, depending on how valuable what you're carrying is. Like if it's something extra rare, of course the merchant's going to want to travel with you to make sure that his rarities don't disappear. But a lot of times with just regular goods, the merchant will be like, "Yep, just take it, deliver it. I'll know when it's bring back the signed receipts and whatnot."
And you, I'm sure that you stressed to him the importance of having people that you trust driving the caravans, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because there's Gunnar Wodock is the one that you've worked with in the past as far as a caravan driver, and you know that he's really good at what he does. And so for you tell him it's like finding somebody who you trust to take things from A to B and B to C and back again is important. And when you find those people, you pay to keep those people, that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely, and you want to make sure that you get an experienced caravaner at least to start, so that way they know where they're going and won't get lost on their way there. And they have the connections at the towns that they're traveling to, so they can unload everything.
Exactly.
And potentially even know what to bring back.
Excellent. So yeah, very cool. So you have another conversation, Victoria's making tea, so you get to catch up on, the things that Gareth has been doing and learning. He tells you about taking stocks and inventories, and he describes these things in a way that he's very exciting about, but they sound so freaking boring. How can anyone be excited by counting how many widgets are in a basket,
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. But I mean, he's got a dream and aspirations, so it's good.
So as you've finished your discussion and your tea, the two boys, Wally and Sid, come down the stairs in their cute little, uniforms. They aren't they don't have any badges or anything on it. They're just they look like little miniature watchman uniforms. And
Right.
Victoria will tell you that she made them for the two boys, so they could show off their watchmanness.
Yeah.
It was very adorable. So
Oh, I would have set up the school so that it was kind of like you got achievement badges, patches that you sew onto your tabard.
nice, like the Boy Scout vest things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. So they each have 2 badges. The first badge is for sweeping. You start them off with the bare basics. So the first badge was for cleaning up around the office, and the second badge was learning letters, because reading and writing is important. So right now they're still they learned how to write their letters. Now they're learning how to put those into words and read. So they have the book badge that they're still working on because they're still learning how to read, and then the penmanship badge, which they're still working on learning how to write. And so those are the ones that they earn in their quote unquote spare time. You have when they don't do the official training, they have tutors because they're all going to schools and stuff now that they get to afford things like that. And the school, you're actually setting it up this little endeavor. You are looking to hire a full-time teacher, like a educator, for the said purpose of when they're not doing their other watchmanly training duty things, that they'll actually have something that they're doing and not just running around rampant all over the streets with spoon daggers and pot helmets.
That sounds like. I would like to. The end goal, I would like for them to be able to not only learn how to read and write, but some light math and whatever kind of philosophies there are in the other kingdoms.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, be learned kids.
Religion 101.
Well,
Religions of Western Imran.
Yeah.
Don't actually do that one. But so that's the stuff they're doing, and today is a very exciting day because today is when they learn how to take care of armor and how to shine a blade. You're giving them basically small, not, what would you call them? They're not hunting daggers so much as really oversized steak knives, I suppose.
Yeah, well, they could just be a kid's size, all-purpose camping knife kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and of course that means that you have to go through that whole earning your knife thing. I know there was a Boy Scout one where you had to learn all of the things about your knife and how to take care of it and what to use it for and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So they're doing that today, and you get to lead that lesson. Yay!
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's the knife safety class.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yep. And since your family used to be, blade makers and such, you do have an understanding of it. So there's that. And, there's even going to be a field trip to Bodok's Blades afterwards.
Ooh.
Yep.
Excellent.
So, as far as today's events, there's at least 4 other kids that have turned up. No, there might be almost 10 now. The majority of them are little ruffian street urchins that are trying to that they found out about it through like Wally or Sid, or they've seen a flyer and they actually know how to read already. So,
Yeah.
and so they're taking advantage of the opportunity to to learn a skill, because when you're 7 and you don't know what you're going to do for the rest of your life and you're only going to live until 30, that's kind of a big deal. You need to know what you're going to do.
Yeah. You're already a third of the way there.
Yeah, exactly. You know how it is. And so you've got kids there that are doing that, and then you've got like Thomasina and Milo who are coming because you mentioned what you were doing to Emmett, and Emmett thinks that's a good idea, so he discussed it with Beth, and they both decided that was a good idea.
Excellent.
Learn some life skills, learn how to fight, learn how to wield weapons, learn how to clean things appropriately.
Yep.
All sorts of stuff. Learn how to be an adult.
Yeah. Learn how to pay somebody to do your laundry.
Exactly.
Yep. So you have a group of kids that you're working with today. And as far as what anything goes... Wow. Hey, babe, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you're rolling random encounters and you roll a 20, what does that mean to you?
In my dice rolls, a 1 through 4 means a negative encounter, and for the party, meaning an encounter with a monster or something like that. And higher generally means like a passive encounter. If I have something like pre-planned ahead of time that could be really cool and fun that the group I want to get out of the way, then generally a high roll like 20 would tell me
That's
that's
the second one in a row.
You should probably stop rolling. That's your third 20 tonight.
That's my
You're
third
cut off
20
from 20s.
So, yeah, you are in the middle of doing the showing, and you're working with leather armor, because
Right.
that's what most of the watch wears is leather armor. So you're teaching the several of the watchmen who aren't on duty left their armor there, so essentially they get a free cleaning job.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so I would show them how to oil the leather and make sure it's in good condition and what to look for if it needs to be replaced.
yes, and then as you are going through and you've got them, everything's done, their armor looks great, you've done a great job, and then they you start teaching them how to use their knives. You give each of them like these knives, right? How does that work?
Well, so actually, I would have gotten a like a straw mat, like a rolled up one, kind of like a tatami mat that you test cut swords with.
Yeah.
So I would get one of those and have it set up, ahead of time. And before I give them their knives, I would give them a demonstration with my wakizashi about how a sharp blade works so effortlessly. Like, what cutting with a good blade looks like.
Excellent.
And since I actually got mine sharpened at Bodok's not too long ago, it should still have a nice keen edge on it.
Excellent. So yeah, and when you slice through the rolled up reed mat like butter. I mean, it's just you slice through it in such a way where it stays there where it is for a few seconds before it slides off, like the whole anime kind of
Yeah.
sword slice. Yeah. And yeah, so far so good. So you've had a very successful thing, and so you've demonstrated the knife thing, and what else happened?
And then, so now that they're all excited about, you know, what a fine blade can do, I bring out the basket that has all of their knives in them, and they're like a hodgepodge collection of like confiscated knives from like various parts of the city.
Yeah. One of
so
yours
some
might
of
be in
them-
there.
Yeah, so some of them are most of them are in not great condition. So the kids like get a totally dull blade and have to like learn how to clean it, polish it, and sharpen it,
Mm-hmm.
like pretty much from scratch.
Okay. Very cool. Well, they
And-
are at... Go ahead.
I give the older kids and the more showy-offy kids the more difficult knives to work with.
Ooh.
So Thomasino and Milo might get
So
the butter knives of the group.
Awesome. You actually see when they're doing this, like, the disappointment is there, but at the same time, you actually see, like, Sid going over to Milo, who has, like, the really shitty little butter knife thing, and wants to trade with him with, like, his, like, longer, like, 4-inch kind of, boot knife that he has. The boot knife is rusty, don't get me wrong, but he really wants that butter knife for some reason, and so they trade. And then he goes over and he shows Wally what he got, right? And so when you're walking by and you're about to go over there and tell him that you can't like trade, like that was the assignment, you're supposed to do that, and you hear him like, yeah, I got the hardest one, so that way when I get it all cleaned up, he's gonna be so impressed with me. I mean, it's just, yeah.
All right, yeah. So I'll just keep walking, like I'm just checking on everybody's progress, not like, and I'll every now and then I'll throw out a comment like any blade can do, can be a great blade. It just takes the proper care and the attention to detail and blah 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 and words of
Excellent.
wisdom and such. Yeah.
So, as you are educating them, the, what's his name? Ah, yes. Captain Hellstrom walks in!
Oh no.
That one guy.
Yeah, that one guy. Because I rolled a 20, so... Yay, Captain Hellstrom walks in! And-
So I'm gonna do a perception just because if I fail completely, I'm not gonna notice him.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't give him the salute as per proper when your superior officer comes in. Oh darn! I think I did well. 23. I'm pretty
Yep,
sure I
you
did.
did well. You did well, and you recognize it. So, you see
Yeah.
him walking in. Actually, your back is turned to him as he's walking in, and you're like helping somebody with whatever knife thingies. Sorry, I don't know, knife stuff.
That's okay.
They had you gave them like a Brillo pad, and they're like scraping all of the dust off of it. I mean, the rust off of it.
Yeah.
You're showing them a more efficient way, to scrub it off. And then you turn around and you see Captain Hellstrom is standing in the back of the room with his classic arms over, crossed over pose, leaning against the wall.
So I will like turn to face him and add attention and like stomp one heel on the floor to get everybody's attention, and I'll say, gosh, what would be appropriate? I want to say captain on deck, but that's just because that's what the Navy said, and that's what I know. What's a alternative to that? How can I re-say that?
Just say something like, "Attention, cadets!"
Yeah.
And then they're supposed
Yeah.
to all stand up and salute.
Yeah. I'll say attention cadets, and I'll say captain on site or something like that.
Yes.
Because he is the captain.
He is the captain. Yep.
Captain on site. That's
Yeah.
Captain on site. That's good.
Captain. There we go. And
Alright.
I'll do the salute.
All right. So the kids are first. They see you turn and they hear the boot stomp that you make, and the Wally and Sid are like up, like what's going on? And you see that. Because with your perception, that little butter knife is gleaming really well. You don't know what the hell he's doing to it, but he seems to be doing a really great job. You have a feeling that maybe he's done this before.
Oh.
But they turn around and you see their little, salutes, and they do the same stomp. Everybody's getting up and doing that, and they do the little captain salute. And the captain, stands back up at attention and salutes them back and tells then says, what does he say?
Looking
Yeah.
good.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about to do. It was like, looking very, very well, cadets. Carry on, And so it's like, please don't let me stop you from this lesson. I am here to watch. And so most of the kids are just like, okay, cool. So they go back and they do whatever it is they're doing. The other, obviously the two that are there right now, Wally and Sid, they're like, that's totally the captain. Oh my god, where's the captain? So you hear them whispering as they've turned back around and they're hunched over their knives doing their things, and that's all you can hear out of the back of your one ear, as Captain Hellstrom walks up to you and says, good job. This is a very good idea. Very promising.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I'll start walking towards the front of the room, away from where all the kids are working.
Yeah.
Because I assume he's not just making a visit for fun.
Are you sure? Maybe he was trying to see your progress.
I mean, maybe, but just to be safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so I've heard several of other of my lieutenants talking about this new program you have going on. Who gave you this idea? Those two little brats over there.
Well, honestly, it was a combination of seeing all the devastation in the longest night and all the schools and other resources for the kids that got burnt down and devastated and such. And I'll gesture over to Wally and Sid, and it's and those two kids really seemed to need a place to stay out of trouble.
So, yeah, they look very sharp, but are those watch uniforms?
They're
so you see him looking at you, he just noticed it too.
No, not officially. They don't have the badge, just the tabard.
Well, it looks like they have two badges. Look at us.
Yeah, so I'll call Sid and Wally up. I mean, wouldn't everyone? I guess not everyone would have the tabard because it was.
Well, the tabards I think everybody would have, but they don't have. But they don't have the Victoria Pickett seamstress to make them their little uniforms. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So they do have the uniforms.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll call Sid and Wally over.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you call their names, and they look up, and you beckon them over, and so they both stand up, and you see them do this cute little, lockstep march thing when they come over to you. You feel like they've been practicing that in their rooms. They had to have practiced it. That can't be natural. And, so they'll come over, and they'll stand at attention, they'll salute, and they'll be like, yes, sir, Lieutenant. Just Inari. At your service.
I'll salute them and uh, say, show Captain Hellstring the progress you've made on your knives. And like I've got like one hand, like I've got my hands behind my back, and like when my fingers are crossed, like hoping like please don't hand him the blade end first or cut his hand off or anything ridiculous like that. Is what's going through my mind.
Well, you did teach them proper, like, how to do stuff. So, they hold their knives up in, like, the presenting it, and then, so he can see the whole knife from, like, end to end, so, like, they have it like this. And then, once they do that, then they'll hold the sharp end and hold the blade end over in unison. So, these are, like, the nerdiest like, the nerdiest little street urchin thieves you've ever seen in your whole life. So
yeah, they're going all in.
They're going all in. They want to be something when they grow up. They just don't want to be gutter trash.
Yeah.
So they present their knives very, very excitedly to Captain Hellstrom, who then takes them in one in each hand, so he'll take both of them, and he will, like, look through them, and you see that, Wally's knife is looking pretty good, you know, and he's got all the rust cleaned off of it, and he's, looks like he was gonna be working on sharpening the edge, but then you see Sid's knife is, like, polished fucking chrome. You don't, maybe he just saw that this wasn't it wasn't so hard, but then you heard him say that it was the harder one, so there must be something to it. The edge is starting to shape really nicely from what he was doing. He works really fast. But then he turn it over and you see that the other side isn't done yet, so he just did one side really, really good. So he's working on one side and then the other.
Okay.
Might want to talk to him about that.
He's got a plan. We'll see how it goes.
How any of this works.
He's like, so and he'll look at the back and be like, So, and then and then he'll toss both the knives up, catch the blade ends, and then hand them back to the boys. Yeah, he's totally gonna show off too. And he'll be like, "There you go, little gentleman. Good, keep up the good work." You know, like that. And he's like, "As you were." Yeah, and then they'll scamper back off, and they're like, you hear and everybody else is like, "Oh man, they gotta tell me." So there's like a little bit of a like childish whisperings, and then he comes back to you. It's like, I wish I, and he does like the whole like fingers on the shin thing kind of stuff. And he's like, this is a good idea. I wish I had thought of it. We would have had this kind of community outreach much sooner. Good work, Shuram.
Okay. I said, well, maybe we could arrange a day for you to come and guest speak to the class.
Perhaps. I think that would be a wise idea. He said, "Oh, so he actually just wanted to stop by and see how things were going because he finally heard rumors about this, whole school. I think that I remember you said you asked him if you could start it, but he doesn't remember that."
He was dealing with a lot of stuff.
So, he came by to see how things were going, if it was really, like, something that was worth, the time and effort that, would be going into it, and he sees that this is, something that can really help out the city in the long run, especially if it gets to be a larger program, so he's pretty happy with what you've come up with.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. And he says that he'll even put in a budget request for hiring a tutor, so you don't have to do it out of your own pocket. That's the 220s. So there you go. You are going to get at least 2 full-time teachers for your burgeoning school / training program.
Excellent. My fledgling cult.
Yeah.
I mean.
the little watchman.
Yep.
Aw, they're not little rascals anymore.
No. Yeah.
They're little watchmen.
Rascals to watchmen.
Yes, and at some point, one of the little watchmen will gain supernatural powers and be able to see everything, while the other one will build a spaceship and fly around, and not the right kind of watchman.
No, no.
One will turn blue
Oh,
and want to be
no.
naked all the time.
Oh no.
You wanted this.
Womp womp.
So, we will move on. So you spend a good amount of this is your daytime thing that you do this from about, like 9 in the morning ish, to about 3-ish. So you spend a good day, with the kids, teach them stuff, making sure they're doing things the proper way. When everybody's done with their knives, you inspect all of them, and everybody did a pretty good job. Thomasina did a really good job with the shitty knife you gave her, and she hands it to you like she knows she did, and she knows exactly what you're up to. So
Why?
not I say that without the sass. Like, she just looks at you like, challenge accepted, bitch, and then hands you the very well crafted or well cleaned up knife. Milo does as well, and so at the end of the day, you take all of the knives back because they haven't earned their knife badge, but they've earned their knives that they're gonna earn their badge with. So you take all of the knives back, and you see that Sid's knife is, like, ready to go. You realize that what he was doing was he started from how everybody else started from the back of the knife, moving forward to the cutting edge. Like, almost everybody did it that way. He started from the cutting edge and went back, so that he automatically sharpened the blade as he was cleaning the stuff off, because he started with the sharp edge first.
Okay.
Yeah, you see like a little bit. You see like little nicks on his fingers, where he was like rubbing back and forth with the cleaning pads and stuff. So where his thumb like kind of split a little bit on the edge too. So he's got like these little nicks all over his hand from it. But he's pretty darn happy with the job of it. And you're really sure that he's done something like that before now. Like,
Yeah.
you're really sure. But do you ask about it? Or do you just let that one slide?
Yeah, I'll just let it slide. I'll let him know it's good work.
Yeah, this kid's shanked somebody before.
Yeah. Well,
You have to. You gotta learn how to do that.
Yeah. I mean, when you're living on the street,
You gotta learn how to shank a bitch.
sharpen a wooden spoon.
So, you have a wonderful afternoon dealing with children in a very, very professional manner. Good work. And you've impressed Captain Hellstrom. And Captain Hellstrom is on board and is going to be assisting with making sure that this program gets funded and gets expanded, because he thinks it's a really good idea. And he's really surprised that nobody thought of that. It's like, pew, pew, pew. Exactly. So, blazing trails. Alright, so we will move on now to Inari. Alright, so today is the next day when your dad arrived. So your dad, you came back at night from what was it, like getting Agon out of the woods, and then
Yes.
when you returned back, your father was in the Quad Iron Inn eating dinner, and that's where we called it. So tell me, what did you guys do that night?
Probably just talked, because all of my schematics I couldn't show him because Taka had it.
Yes.
Had them.
Taka needs them.
Yes, he needs to show off my work.
Yeah.
But I can show him other things that I've been working on and what I've been learning, and Yeah. And then like asking him 1,000,001 questions of how is everybody back home? Did the little kid or the farm across the way like find somebody else to work on their jack, because I know it was always breaking down and that one coil just like kept burning out for some reason.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, there was a lot of catch up. Out over dinner, over eating. I don't necessarily think anybody else would have stuck around for that. And so yeah, so it's the next day. What is it that you would like to do?
Is it Monday?
No.
Oh. What day is it?
It's Sunday. It's the day
That's
before Monday.
Day before Monday.
Your father's here.
Yep. I guess take him on a tour of Corvis to show him the city, but only the safe parts. Because
Okay.
we don't need none of that.
Do you try to avoid all of the parts of town that are still being rebuilt? Like, how much of a good impression are you trying to make with showing off Corvis?
So, I don't want to sugarcoat it, because we're not that type of family.
Okay.
I would take him on a tour. The really bad places that, like, aren't safe, I wouldn't take him to. But I would take him and kind of tell him, like, tell him what I did during the siege. Since he's here, I mean...
Okay.
And under this bridge, we saw a raft made out of bodies.
No, we didn't talk about that. I'll, as we're walking through, we'll go past... Which gate was it?
Hang on. It's the East Gate.
The East Gate? That was the one that I was kind of stationed at?
Yeah,
Sort
the
of.
very, very tippy top of the map, which is on the east
Okay.
side.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, as we're walking through, I'll tell him about, oh, this is where, you know, I gotta look at the actual map.
Yeah, so the East Gate up at the top, red one, is where you were, and then you ended up coming back to help guard one of the bridges leading to number 19, the Church of Morrow.
Right.
And that's where, like, the final stand was, because that's where Alexia and all of the swarms of undead converged.
I probably won't tell him about that. Like, the swarm of the dead at the church and all that happening.
And the breaking of the tomb to get the blade out of it.
Yeah.
And Alexia's mother's body. And they flew off.
Yeah, not gonna tell him about that part.
Okay.
Or about the various sewer crawling activities.
Yeah. I'll just kind of go over, let me see. I'll tell him where the various shops are, and ooh, that place over there has really delicious, bread that I get, in the morning. It's usually very hot and very fresh and very nice. They use a very strange type of, spice in it that I've never, that we don't have around our house or in that particular area. And it's really good, and we should go there.
What's it called?
I think it's called Caraway? Yes. It looks like a little tiny seed, and it just kind of sits on top of it, but it's very aromatic. Especially whenever you toast the bread.
Sorry. She sees I'm playing with it.
Yeah. So, so yeah, he's gonna be really interested, and he's gonna be engaging, and he's gonna ask you questions about the different parts of town. I'm assuming, are you going to take him over to the Steamworks? Or are you going to avoid that area for right now?
We're going to avoid that area
Okay.
for right now because
Do-
I don't know if I have my job yet.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell him that I've been laid off.
But you have been telling him about your work, right?
Yes, yeah, I told him about the work, and I told him that, I'd been working at the Steamworks because that's been in all the letters.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell him that I've been working with somebody named Taka, and he's been very helpful in furthering my research, and I'll tell him about my special project.
Cool.
Because he would have kind of sort of an understanding.
Yeah.
Of certain things.
Definitely.
But his background is more clockwork.
Yeah. So he'll be able to kind of keep up. He's really interested in seeing this McGrabbenstab. Do you tell him? Because I'm assuming you told him about McGrabbenstab in your letters.
I have.
Did you tell him about?
Can I make a suggestion? This is
Yeah.
Max speaking, not Emmett. You
Sure.
probably should give him like some sort of alphanumeric name instead of what we refer to him as.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just
so
as an advisement.
yeah, because maybe hearing McGrabbenstab probably isn't the best name for you to tell him your father. That's what we call him. So
Yeah. Hold on.
thank you. That's a good point.
So I'm going to refer to him as MGS001.
Okay. MGS001. Perfect. So.
Make grab in stab number 1.
Awesome. So you've got a lot of stuff happening. You're taking your dad a tour. Do you have any? He'll tell you. So just in case, so we can also go over a lot of that stuff that in case you forgot. So he'll tell you that he had been looking forward to all of your letters, and he's really enjoyed reading them, and he's really happy to see you, but the news of the Corvis longest night disaster reached him before your letter did, and he waited a day, and then he decided he couldn't wait, and he had to come, either find you or find your body.
Right.
So, yeah.
So
Did you just ooh her?
I just oohed her. Well, I'm supposed to be the...
You are.
Molly, come ooh her.
So I understand that it was I did write to you, and obviously the mail service was not up to par, and word travels sometimes faster than the actual post. But I did write to you, and I expect the letter to be waiting for you at the office or post office back whenever you get home. But I am perfectly all right, and I was able to handle things.
But it was so dangerous. You could have been hurt.
I understand that. I understand, and it's a circumstance that happened, and it was unplanned. It's not like I was like, "Yay, things are happening that could kill people."
I have another suggestion. I'm sorry. Maybe you should introduce him to some of the people you hang out with that help protect you.
I will as we
Like
make
me.
our rounds.
I think that's a horrible idea.
I also think that's a horrible idea, but I'm going to do it.
Oh, shit.
And the skeleton woman with the big sword.
So, right now, Inari, that 2 people are pretty much in the same area. They're both in the university area. So, he might enjoy walking through the Gordon's Groves Park, heading towards the university. It's very nice, and it's, a little nature preserve in the city, so, so you'll have him wander through the back streets, in between, like, 17 and 18 and through those like winding little bridges over to Gordon's Groves Park and then over up north to the university. So let's see.
As we walk through the park, I will say this is where I actually got Taka, my partner over at the works. He's always working all the time, and I thought he needed a good day off. So I convinced him to take half of a day, and he brought his whole family out here for a little bit of fun in the sunshine, and we played hide and go seek, and it was wonderful, but I wasn't very good at it because they're gobbers.
The gobbers are very crafty.
They are, and they're really good at finding things.
I wonder if you would like gobbers or not like gobbers.
The question is, well, you think of it from the standpoint that he's an engineer himself.
Yeah.
Most gobbers who are intelligent and civilized are as
engineers.
well.
Yeah, that would make
and
sense.
so he would either see them as a racial competition, or he will see them as an ally who just comes in a different shape.
Yeah, I would say that. He's very positive and optimistic.
So, yeah. He wouldn't have a disagreement with gobbers.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. So, you tell him all the story of how you met Taka and all of in his family and his 2 wives, and he's 2 wives. He's like, yep, 2 wives.
2 wives? I don't understand how it works, but they're both very lovely ladies.
And, so, and then as you make your way, you come to the university grounds, and you can walk through. There's no, like, gates keeping anyone out. It's just a nice little transition. There's some, instead of forest, it's more of a manicured lawn with shrubberies and topiaries and flowers.
Hey, Max, I just messaged you something.
Okay.
So, how Agan and Nefera, what are you 2 doing today at the university? And how does Inari come across you?
What time of the day is it approximately?
It would be in the morning. We're both
Morning.
pretty early risers.
I would be like taking care of some of the animals and stuff like that. I might be a little bit hard to find.
Is the porcupine around you? Because I could ask the porcupine.
Porcupine would probably be with me.
Oh, yay. Hey, Jeff. Welcome back. So, excellent.
And Nefera has gotten over her nightmare, and she's had a brainwave regarding her studies. She figured out, and part of the reason why she's having a hard time translating her book is because elves see a wider range of stars, so the constellations are off. So she's found a star chart for humans that actually includes some of the fainter stars.
Oh, okay, excellent.
And she's copying them. She's gotten tired of being inside, so she's found a board that she's got on the ground, and she's lying down, and Max is probably lying on her.
Sunning herself.
Yep.
Very cool. So, we will, as you are...
She's got a compass and straight edge, and she's compass, straight edge, ruler.
Excellent. So, as you and your father are coming on to the grounds of the university, you're walking through the nice little shade trees, like the little ornamental pears and cherry trees and stuff like that are very pretty when they start flowering. And when the flowers drop, then that's when the kind of, it's nice like the first few days, and then it's just mush. But we're long past the flowering season at this point, so, or not there yet, I would say. And you see the familiar long, lanky form of Nefera sprawled out on the ground. She's got like her hands on her elbows, and she's looking at this piece of paper.
One hand on
Oh,
her
one
elbow,
hand. Yeah, go ahead.
and there's one hand on her elbow. The other is tracing a circle on her piece of paper. It's a very good circle, considering she's doing it one-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I see her in the distance, and I turn to my father and grab his hand. It's like, oh, look, it's one of my friends. And I'll start, like, kind of pulling and tugging and running with him up the path and through the grass over to where Nefera is.
Excellent. So, Nefera, as you finish your circle, which, this is the 5th time you've attempted this circle, and now you are pretty sure you've got it right. Everything is laid out as it should in relation to the circle you just made. And then you see a shadow of a figure come over your piece of paper with, looks like a 2-headed person. And then you look up and you see actually there's 2 people, Inari and an older gentleman.
I'm going to do a perception check. Because, 1, I completely fail it. I go... 9? Who is this?
Nefera, this is my father.
Apologies, sir. Just stand up, gather Knox up, and drape her like a stool over the back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I am not in my concealing garb, because the university is used to me by now.
Yes, yes. So
I'm safe in the university grounds, so I'm wearing my usual short-sleeve tunic and tight trousers.
yes. So when you are you standing up to greet them or?
Yes.
Yes. So when you're standing up, he doesn't look. He looks like at first he's slightly surprised, but he manages to cover up his surprise quite well. He looks to be a shorter human, but very reserved in appearance. You know, looks like he's definitely not poor, based on his clothing. He's well dressed, well kept. He's got good posture, and you see that he has these glasses that or what you think are glasses. You've seen them before, where there's 2 different lenses, lenses that can connect magnetically over to form, a glasses, but they're hanging loose, on his collar right now. And you see what you think is a clock, but it's small and it's on his wrist.
And she is immediately drawn to the glasses and the clockwork.
Yes.
So, I've never seen anything like that before, so...
Mm-hmm.
So,
would it be on his wrist, or would it be in his, hanging from his pocket? I think it would be on his wrist, because that would be pretty ingenious.
That's rather high tech, yeah.
Yeah.
That means that's super high tech. Mostly, I have a watch in my pocket.
Yeah.
So she's actually gonna reach out with one hand and start looking, turn his wrist over, and start looking at the watch.
So you, Inari, you introduce Nefera to your father. She stands up, about to looks like she's going to say something, and then she stops and she stares at his hand, and so she reaches out, she's seen other people, handshakes, maybe that's what she's doing, and so he reaches out to return a handshake, but then she grabs his hand and she leans she's much taller than him, by the way, so she leans very close over so she can see and inspects the little,
and I'm listening to it, maybe even smelling it slightly.
He's like, well, that's very nice to meet you, Nefera. And then he looks over at Inari
Oh, convert it to a handshake. Neither of you just saw that.
I'll say, she's actually new to the area. She's probably never seen your watch before, Father.
Oh, yes. It is a very nice piece. I crafted it myself. Here. And
I've
so
not seen its match here.
And so you see him, he actually, there's a metal clasp, and you hear the metal clasp loosen, and then he takes and takes the piece, which now you see, it looks like he's converted, or it seems to be that he's converted a pocket watch to be able to be worn on a wrist using this, like a mechanical clasp, like how a bracelet would be, except when you have it in your hand, it's very much like a heavy duty, it's very sturdy.
Gonna like look at it, look at it, turn it over, feel it, figure out how the clasp works. She's going to avoid she's probably going to avoid the mechanical.
Yeah, the winding anything up. Yeah.
Yeah, because she does know enough. I'm pretty sure she's seen pocket watches enough to know that.
Mm-hmm.
She's seen a few pocket watches, so she knows about that. But
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, you get the opportunity to look at him. He explains to you how he made it, and that he essentially crafted a different housing for one of the smaller pocket watches that he had. He decided to experiment with it and craft a different housing for it. Explained how he did all this sorts of. So then you realize that this definitely is somebody who is related to Inari, because he explains things in the same meticulous way that she does, although he's not nearly as fast paced as she is when he's explaining things.
maybe humans slow down as they age. Plus he's bigger than her, so.
That might not be conclusive, because Emmett has gray hair. He's rather old, and he still moves pretty quickly. Maybe Emmett's not human.
Doesn't talk as quickly. Yes, but he doesn't talk as quickly.
That's true. Okay, you got me there. So
Because all of the little kids that she has been going to school with all talk very fast and move very fast. So this is a really good working theory, Nefera.
Yeah. And plus, she's seen the Gobber children and Taka, and so her working theory is the smaller you are, the more animated you are.
I'm going to throw her for a loop by introducing to her an elderly halfling.
So yeah, there's go ahead.
So, look up, then after a few moments, figuring out what social niceties are necessary. He's going to say, I did not know your father was in town.
Oh, I just found out last night, whenever we came back from getting a gun from out there.
Okay. Sense more of them.
Did you say 2?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't. She must have forgotten where you guys went.
Maybe you should remind her.
Maybe you should remind her.
No, that was my response. You mean the woods?
Yes, yes. Out in the woods. That's where he lives. He's not homeless or anything. Just as I look at my father. He's not homeless. He's actually, I guess he's a druid now.
He likes trees.
He likes trees a lot. It's kind of his thing. Is he around?
That's still focused on. No, I've gone from the watch to the eyeglasses.
So
and I'm not touching them because.
yeah.
But I'm looking them, almost doing a ward hit, trying to walk around to see how they connect to his clothes. So I think he is taking care of the animals.
Oh, excellent. He will be our next stop.
Well, would you like to go along with this and view this train wreck, or would you like to stay and consider and get back to your studies?
Would you like to watch this train wreck?
I don't know.
Press 4 now.
Why is it a train wreck automatically?
No.
No, it's a train wreck whenever we get back into town and we end it.
No, see, right now, where the train wreck's just picking up speed, we haven't actually wrecked yet. This is just like,
Oh, it's about to.
High or low?
high you go.
Okay, I go. I'm rolling the 19.
Excellent.
I'm
So,
gonna pick up my astronomy book, which
yes.
is actually the book I found.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you realize that they might not know where the animals are kept because Inari hasn't been here maybe like one time, and that was straight in to go do some experimenting on the potions that make you puke. The healing potions that also make you sick. So, you escort Inari and her father after returning the watch.
Yeah, after returning the watch and neatly, rolling up the drawings,
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
picking up my board and things.
Excellent. And so you will escort them over to the menagerie, where, Agon, what are you doing?
Cleaning a horse. With a brush, brushing the horse
Mhm.
down. That's it.
Are you sure it's a horse?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be a human.
What?
It's definitely a horse. I've seen them like this. I've seen bones like this. That's definitely a horse.
Yes.
I think he's a terrible
Zebra.
druid if he can't tell a horse from a human.
It's the ongoing horse versus human joke.
Yep.
To a horse bone.
Yes. Is it a horse bone or a femur?
It's a horse bone.
It's a horse bone.
All right. So to kind of get this started, the porcupine is also wandering the menagerie,
Oh my gosh, yes.
and so can I do the description real quick?
Yes,
as it
please
come walking
do.
in? So as you're walking in, garden, trees, bushes, small paths here and there, cages, gilded, some nice, some beautiful. Suddenly, a small, 1.5 foot tall man covered in quills walks around the corner. He's almost completely naked. His skin is purplish pink, and he's got this terribly funny small face. His hands are curled in front of him with giant claws, and goes, "Hey, hey, 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 Nyeh, hey."
That's very close to an actual porcupine noise. I like it.
Hey.
Hey. And he seems to want to get closer. This little chubby pink-skinned man wants to hug you.
Oh. I'll pull a small piece of fruit out of my bag and hand it to him.
But do you know if it's a man? It could be
Yes.
a gon. It could be a gon.
What? Hold on.
I don't
I'm
look
sure
that much.
there's a roll.
But you're a druid. People know that druids can change into animals and trees and rocks and breathe fire and, turn babies
would
into
that be?
dinosaurs.
And also eat babies.
Sense motive.
Oh.
Yeah, sense motive.
Or knowledge nature.
15. I don't have knowledge.
Yeah, this is not a man. This
Excellent.
is most definitely an animal.
Nom 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 nom. Hey. Hey.
Give it a tiny piece of something like fruit out of my bag that I always keep.
Okay, you pull out a withered apple.
A withered apple.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know how long it's been in there.
I restock food every day.
Okay, fine.
Okay, dried apple from your trail mix.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll pull it out and hand it to him.
Okay, so the little creature reaches up with long, tendrily fingers. You can see the pads on its things. It's definitely animal hands. It grabs it with both hands and it kind of scratches your fingers as it takes the thing and it goes.
Gun here.
So,
The
what?
gun is here. This quill thing is quill creature thing.
And
It's-
then I would have heard the porcupine going crazy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I turn around and I say, "Oh, hey, Inari. What brings
Hi.
you here?"
I was showing my father around Corvis, and I thought the best thing to do would be to introduce him to some of the people that I've met while I've been here.
Okay, I'll walk up to it and say, "What? It's very nice to meet you, sir. I've read so much about you." And
You
then as soon as I say it, I'm like, "Oops."
you've read my letters?
Yeah,
What he means to say is, and I reach up and put my hand over his mouth. It's like what he means to say is, I've talked about you.
yeah, something about you losing some papers to like in a very important project
And
that you
I
was working on.
Punch a gun in the stomach.
Hey.
What?
Hey.
So your father looks at you very strange, and then looks at you when you punch him like, Inari!
I'm sorry, I had a spasm.
Is this the kind of manners that the Corvus is teaching you?
The porcupine's standing up like this.
Hey,
Yeah, the Pokemon is like...
He's gone in defensive mode because his owner is attacked.
And I give him another piece of fruit.
And
Dried
it's...
fruit.
It smacks it to the ground!
about to say something, and then she goes into suddenly very interested in the horse that a guy.
Exit stage left.
Yes. So
Yeah.
Nefera decides to extract herself from the and more worsening the worsening train wreck, as he's found out that his daughter beats people maliciously, and you know it's I'm sorry for my daughter's behavior. What were you
She's
saying?
okay. Yeah, it just your daughter talks about you all the time. She's very proud of you.
Oh. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And still gives you the side eye, Inari, like, you better not be... It's like, I taught you, I taught you better than this side eye.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, so, what do you do here?
I don't know.
You tend to the animals.
I tend to the animals, I suppose, when I'm here.
And I heard that you were in the woods. Do you live
Oh,
there?
yes, I almost forgot. Would you like to try some of my nuts?
You grow your own?
Oh, I gather them, yes.
Ah.
And some berries, too.
I'd be most interested in trying your nuts. And he's doing it with a straight face, too.
Yeah.
And I'll grab some out of my pocket.
Let's see.
And I'll tell him exactly what type they are with the Latin, I don't know if it's Latin, but whatever, the scientific name for the nuts are.
Okay, yeah.
The scientific name for the berries. And I'll tell him exactly, maybe some detail about where they grow
Ooh.
best and stuff like that.
A biology lesson, excellent. So he's
Yes.
very interested in the information. He loves learning new things. He loves science. He likes, and he'll tell you as much. So, so yeah, and he'll sample them as well and listen to all of the other things that you do here. I'm sure you'll tell him about your animals. Will you introduce him to your porcupine?
Yeah.
Have
I don't even know if I've named my
You
porcupine.
You haven't.
I don't know. I'll think of one in a little bit.
Excellent.
But I'll be like, hey, Porky, come here.
It's like,
The porcupine is still on the offensive. He's going after Sarah's character.
I'm gonna.
Out of 19. He successfully grabbed a hold of your pouch and he's looking for more food.
Yep.
While everyone's distracted, that is.
Yes. Go ahead and roll a stealth.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, you're distracted enough to where he's grabbing on your pack, and then you realize he's grabbing on your
They're
pack.
clamors, so he's probably grabbed a hold and he's trying to pull himself up.
Yeah.
All like 4.5 pounds.
in my bag and find another bit of fruit or something and hand it to him.
A withered apple. No, just a regular apple. You throw a regular apple, and it's like, go get it! And then it scampers off, but and runs over to it, and then starts
Making the most
Yes.
adorable noises.
that porcupines do, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, you've got a lot of stuff going on. Is there anything else, any other shenaniganry you would all like to share with her father? Stories about your exploits? Come on.
I think I've done enough damage.
I don't know. I think you could do more.
I can't think of anything else.
Well, you could talk about all of the things that you did, like that time when you went into the Undercity through the catacombs, or how you went over to Filter's Crossing, which is obviously the most dangerous part in town, but, you know, you can
So
tell him
I'll-
about the
I'll
Thunder
cut
Wicket.
in. I'll cut in and say, during the longest night, these were some of the people that helped the city and were my comrades in arms whenever we were defending it.
Would either of you like to add to that?
Comrades, guardians, either, however you want to look at it. Because if I remember correctly, you weren't able to help much because you were like hiding under a bridge or something.
No, I had my jack, which was demolishing the zombies out at the gate.
Right, but what were you doing? I forget. Like,
I was-
as my character honestly forgets.
So she was out there, but then she did actually have she did fail a fear save, and so when they
hit the wall.
when they hit the wall, that's
That
when
was
she
pretty fucking
started
scary.
panicking,
Yeah.
and so then she did.
My character has like a tiny bit of PTSD.
Yeah, so you had a PTSD moment, and then you just kind of sat down and covered your head and just kind of rocked for a little while until somebody came and picked you up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, by the way, I thought you might wish to discuss those papers.
Oh, so yes, we can definitely discuss that. But perhaps later, a little later. You know.
Nicole is rolling horribly on anything to do with wisdom tonight, so she got a 5, so...
Excellent.
No, she doesn't know.
No.
Oh, since my father's here, I thought it would continue on the tour of the city. Maybe we could meet up later after dinner, or you could join us for dinner at the Quad Iron Inn. And you too, Agon.
Sure. Absolutely.
Excellent.
It would be wonderful.
Excellent.
Nefera's gonna pause. Do you really think it's appropriate to
They're gonna be
discuss
there for the aftermath
the
after he's
papers at
gone, and
dinner?
she's like just crying
No,
like a little
after
baby.
dinner. After
What's
dinner,
that?
I
after
said
they
that-
go to
it's like-
bed.
They're gonna they're gonna get to the Quadrant Inn for dinner after like they've already had their discussion and he's left, and so now she's just a crybaby.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
that's what I like it. Do it.
All right.
Yeah. Right?
Excellent.
So, you all say your goodbyes, unless there's anything else you'd like to, do more with Inari's father. Any other, things to embarrass her, or.
Hey, I figured did manage to avoid blurting out necromantic papers.
That's true. Good job.
And Inari thanks you.
Oh, so you all bid your adieus, planning to meet later on for dinner at the Quad Iron Inn, and Inari, you take your father away, to go where?
Um. Where would Yashiram be?
At his school teaching the kids, it's that day.
Oh yeah, because it's in the morning.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that'll be that'll be fantastic to
'Cause-
show my dad.
isn't that something we've all pitched in for? I don't think there was a single one of us who didn't say, "Hey, I'll give you some gold pieces to help out
Yeah.
with that school."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the way back through the city, I'll say, and next we can show. I'll show you the school that my friends and I have all pitched in to start.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. So you head up to and this is it's close to where the main buildings are for the City Watch, which means it's also close to the jail. And so on your way, I rolled low for encounters. So on your way, you all get to see some of Corvis's finest as they are being dragged in by some of the City Watch into their respective holding cells, or into the jail, as they are fighting with the watchmen trying to break free, saying, "I didn't do nothing," shouting and being very boisterous enough to where your father stops and gawks at the whole situation. And is gawking at, like, what's happening here? Why are they acting like, why are they treating him like this? Why is he acting like that?
I'll just kind of put my armor on my father and say, well,
And
entirely sure.
the watchmen look a little bruised. Their escort looks quite bloody. Maybe some drunken, disorderly stuff that went wrong. Who knows?
I'm not entirely sure why people in general act this way, Father. I understand in our city we never had that. But here it's a little bit different.
Ah. Got it. So, you managed to pry him away from the spectacle that is arresting drunken, disorderly people and move it over to what looks to be a small warehouse. And let's see. And you walk in, and you hear stuff happening. John, right now you are in the process of helping people learn how to take care of leather armor.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I will be, yeah, let's see. So I'm in front of the class, with a particularly grody piece, to show them that, and sometimes you do get a little bit of manure splatter on the wet, rainy days when you're patrolling the streets. And that's okay to use a little bit of soap and water, but you don't want to submerge the leather. Just wipe the surface clean. So I'm like up there like dabbing like a damp rag on the like the mud splashed spots of the leather, trying to get it off.
I'll walk slowly into the classroom and try to make eye contact with you. Like, kind of leaning over. Oh god. Roll that dice.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Does a 13 see her?
I'm not being
Yeah,
stealthy.
she's not being stealthy, so yeah. You see
Okay.
Inari turn her head around, and then when you make eye contact with her, then she comes and she brings in an older gentleman, well dressed, has the compact spectacles draped over his shoulders, and
He wears his hair in a ponytail, and it's still very, very black, but he has, like, the very distinguished graying at the temples.
He's turning into a silver fox.
Uh-oh.
Ugh.
Uh-oh.
Get
Watch
it?
out.
Silver fox.
I get it.
You're welcome.
I get it. So when I see our visitors coming in, I will do the whole stamping on the floor, and say, "Cadets, visitors on site," and expect them all to come to it.
And they shall, indeed. And they do it, and then but they give like weird looks, like, does anybody know who they belong to? Kind of look. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I will move over to Inari, and what can you honor?
Yashiram, this is my father. He's come to visit. So I'm showing him around and showing him the wonderful students that we have acquired and that you teach. And how good of a person you are. And he also works for the watch.
Yeah, okay. So, I will turn to the class. I'll say, this is Inari. If enough of you show an interest in jacks or other mechanical items, perhaps we can arrange for her to come and talk to you.
And I'll bow really low and say, yes, I'd be happy to talk if anybody is interested in jacks.
Okay.
And then I will direct children to get back to work.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, you're even more awkward than me.
I am.
I will reach out to greet her father.
All right, he will take
Nice
your
to meet you,
yes
sir.
handshake. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, it's nice to meet you too, sir. So you're on the city watch?
Yes. Yes, it started with them after coming to the city, protecting the caravan your daughter was in.
Oh, excellent. It's good to know that she's made some friends that can keep her safe in this city.
Yes. I was telling him he came to. I'm just kind of like tapping. It's like, yes, he heard about the longest night that happened here on Corvis, and unfortunately, my letter did not reach him in time for his worry to overtake him and come to the city, looking for me. So.
Well, yeah, there was chaos in the postal system after that, so it's understandable the delay.
But we made it through the night, and we helped the city, and it's better for it since the school started.
Yep, that's one way to look at it.
Why don't you tell him a little bit about what you do here?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
And just as a player, don't be afraid to make things awkward for Inari.
Yep. Whatever you need to do.
So, yeah, I'll walk him around the classroom and tell him about the idea for the school and how it came about, and point out that especially before the longest night, but especially afterwards, there were significantly more kids that were on their own thing to do with their free time. So we had this idea, and we all put it together, and let's see. Yeah, no, I don't think I would purposefully go into anything unless I was asked about it. That would be questionable activities.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. You're the only one. You're the only one.
All right. So you described to him like what you do with the watch, and you present yourself as a very respectful and upstanding young man, and yeah, and so is there anything else that you wanted to do in specific, John, before we?
No, I don't think so. Because I haven't even hinted to her that I know, you know,
Okay.
what she is.
What? What am?
You're just a dude disguised as a dude playing another dude.
I'm a lady.
Yep, that one.
Okay. So you all finish up and you excuse yourself because you have to go wrangle children into being upstanding citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And as you all leave, your father will say, what a very nice young man.
Uh-huh.
You should probably consider, and before you...
Maybe we should go get some tea somewhere. Then I just start walking faster.
Yeah, I figured that would... No? Okay. So you all... Hold on one second. Babe, what are you doing?
I'm coming here in just a minute. That's what I'm doing.
Alright, well, you're needed.
I know, I just heard you got finished, so I'm heading in that
Plus,
direction.
I think things are going to be. I almost mentioned the necromantic papers because, and my roll was low enough I could have, but I think things are going to be awkward enough when she comes to the dinner with her claymore.
Don't go into the city without
She's got a
it.
rubber band in her mouth.
I know.
Okay.
Especially when you look like a lich.
So, alright, you all are, making a beeline to, a tea house, I'm assuming. But, yeah, so, go ahead.
Before we totally leave, I'll turn back around and go, oh, Yashira, maybe you would like to have dinner with all of us tonight. I am gathering the crew.
Sure, at the choir.
Yep. And we head to a tea house as my father awkwardly suggests I don't know what because I didn't listen to it.
Okay. Oh.
Well, my character won't be at a tea house. I don't drink tea.
No, you don't. But that doesn't mean you don't see her walking with some strange older man on the, in the...
Oh, is that how I get engaged?
Maybe. Or maybe you go find them at the corner. No, I'm gonna leave that up to you, because that's the next place they're going after the tea house.
Yeah, I can wait for the Quad Iron Inn. Otherwise, I think what I would be doing is, what was the name of the caravan master guy? You had mentioned it
Gunnar
earlier.
Wodak.
Modoc?
Wodak.
Wodoc.
Yes.
Since we haven't had any work lately, I was figuring Emmett had spoke with him to see how things are going, and being inspired by Yashirim, he was going to start looking around to kind of train people on how to fight. So either she would catch me beating the crap out of somebody in a training session, or cleaning my armor and weapons. You know how he likes to sit around and clean his guns?
Yeah. That's true.
That would be the two things I think he would be doing at this point in time.
Yes, I think what happens is that you have been doing a lot of thinking and considering since you've been sober, and you decided that you actually want to, try a real apology. And so you go to the Quad Iron Inn and she's not there, so you decide to wait. And by wait, I mean take over part of the tavern with all of your weapons, cleaning everything until she returns.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I think that sounds like a wonderful idea. I will be cleaning all my guns, waiting for her to return. And my swords.
There has been a lot of activity in the Quad Iron Inn this afternoon.
Everyone.
There's a lot. So there's been a lot of movement upside. You think that maybe some people must be leaving, because there's a lot of moving stuff down. So maybe some of the people who are staying here, everybody's deciding to leave all at once. Maybe.
I want to. I will eavesdrop.
Okay. You'll hear the bartender saying that the trunk needs to go on the cart and make sure that everything else is so he's seems to be directing the workflow, so to speak.
What was his name?
Oh shit, that wasn't his name.
Because I know he's got a name.
He does have a name, but I don't remember it.
Does Sarah have it written down?
Do you have the bartender's name written down, Sarah? The barkeep for the Quad Iron Inn?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't think. Did we give him a name?
I could have swore we did. We've mentioned him several times.
Harvey.
Yeah, we'll say Harvey.
Harvey.
Okay. Harvey's the bartender in the other game.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, Harvey, the big dude.
Greetings, Harvey. I see you lifter. You are lifting things. I am a lifter too, porter by trade. Do you need any help?
He'll look at you and be like, yeah, if you'd like to take charge of organizing the cart outside, that way I don't have to keep going back and forth, because he knows you, so.
Da.
There's no, he knows you, and he knows there's no bottles of wine going on that cart, so he doesn't have anything to worry about. So
And I'll tell him, you can clear some off my tab.
he'll give a nod and nod you towards the door.
All right. I will, I'll just take off my jacket, leave my stuff on the table. I feel safe in the quad iron. But I'm still, since I'm out and about, I still wear my armor. So I will just see this as a chance to get some good exercise in lifting heavy objects and organizing the back of the carts.
Okay.
I have an intelligence score of 17.
How are you feeling today? This is...
Like I really need to physically be active. I haven't had work, I haven't had alcohol, and I'm working really hard to avoid cigarettes at this point in time.
What?
Yeah, I'm trying to clean up.
Why?
Because in like the whole concept of a good person, they don't smoke, they don't drink, they don't swear, they work hard.
Okay.
So I'm trying to symbolize or make myself more like this mythical good person.
All right, well, go ahead and let's do your fort save.
Okay, I'm going to dump my dice. A lot of noise. Okay. 20!
Ooh, man,
First
you
dice
are
roll.
fucking feeling good. You woke up this morning, and this morning was the first time in since you've started this whole process that you didn't have a headache
What about a nightmare?
or a nightmare. Yeah, that a 20. I think that warrants that. You had a heavy, dreamless sleep.
Oh. All right. So yeah, getting some work in today, even if I'm not getting paid except a drink or two, sounds like a really good idea. I feel like I might be going down that path of becoming a better man.
Excellent.
Maybe that I'll come up while I'm working, come up with a really good apology for being a dumbass.
Yes. So when
Not gonna happen.
So you help organize this really nice it's not a cart, like it's definitely a caravanner's wagon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely, it looks new. It looks like there's money involved in whoever this person was or is that's leaving the Quad Iron Inn, and it's a lot. There's not actually a whole lot of stuff. It just looks like there's some crates, a couple of trunks.
I will reassure them and tell them that Harvey knows me and that I'm a qualified porter.
Mm-hmm.
I will show them. Oh, I still have that. It's on my character sheet. I have a thing from the guild.
Yep, you do.
I show them my guild license
Mm-hmm.
so they know who I am and say that I'm qualified to lift and move things.
So you are going to make sure that everything is well balanced and good to go for whatever traveling this wagon's going to make soon.
And I'll tell them you do not owe me. Harvey is paying me.
Excellent. So you go ahead and roll a perception.
I'm smoking hot with a 6. And my bonus was 10, so 16.
Okay. Yeah. So, hold on 1 second. So yeah, you notice, because you were in her room before, so you notice that one of those trunks is definitely from that room.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Daddy's paying them to move around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right, so as I'm doing the work and I come to this realization, I'm going to give a stop. And I tell them where to put a few more things, but then I tell them, keep going, I'll be right back. I jump down and I hustle into the inside of the tavern. Harvey, speak with me in private.
Okay.
We can just stand here
Yeah,
and make...
exactly.
So I'm going to find out what the fuck's going on. Tell them this is a friend of mine's things. I'm not stupid.
I don't like that they're talking without me being able to
What
hear them.
what's going on? So I'm not going to intimidate him or
Scheming. Oh,
I'm not going to intimidate him or diplomacy him or anything. I'm
Yeah,
going to be
no.
really nice about the whole thing.
I mean, he's not gonna. He knows you. He's not gonna. He's not gonna
Looks like
deny
a
it.
feather.
He wasn't paid to
She
keep it a
also
secret or
farted
anything.
while she was
He's
up
just
here.
paid to have everything ready to go
Right.
because
Yeah.
the,
It was
one of
nice.
the
Shows
highest
that
paying
she
guests we've
loves
had in
me.
a while is heading
Right.
home with her
Sharing
dad.
is caring.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I feel from what he's saying, this is an agreed upon mutual thing.
Yes.
Good. This is going to segue into the whole heartbreaking moment. So I'm going to disarm and disarmor. I'm going to weaken myself down to just a simple man. That's it.
Okay.
So I'm going to take off my armor, my coat, everything, and I'm going
Alright.
to get out there, and I'm going to sweat my ass off, and I'm going to pack her into that wagon because this is what she's decided to do, and I think this is a good idea.
Excellent. Okay.
I didn't talk about
All right.
time.
Yeah. It looks
And
like
that's
he's like,
how
"And
I
I'm gonna jump
die."
out, and then I'm gonna stab him. What? That's what it looked like.
Yep.
Hand motions.
Yeah, and yep, you need to make a perception check. Inari.
Me?
Yeah, you, Inari.
21.
You notice that they did not give you the green tea that you asked for. They gave you the one right next to it instead.
Oh, the travesty, the calamity of life.
The travesty.
First world problems.
Okay. I will. Did somebody bring it to the table, or did I have to go up and get it?
They brought it to the table, but you pay
Okay.
attention because that's not what the long leaf looks like. You know,
Right.
you are pretty much a tea expert.
I do. I understand this. So I'll put my hand up and kind of call the waitress or waiter back over,
Mm-hmm.
get their attention and say, excuse me, I believe you have brought me the wrong tea. I asked for the green, the long leaf, but this seems to be a black tea and a short leaf.
So she'll look and like, oh my goodness. So they like go back and correct their mistake. And so you and your father have a lovely time at the tea house that that you stop in. And so
This is also the place with the bread with the caraway seeds on top of it,
excellent.
which I buy a small bun so we can split it.
Excellent. So he'll check his watch and it's probably about, I don't know, it's in the afternoon, so it's tea time, right? And he was like, well, I suppose we should be heading back to the Quad Iron Inn.
I suppose we can do that.
Excellent. He's like, so, he's like, so on the way there, he says that he's so glad that you've been able to have this experience in Corvis, and most of them seem like quite nice people, although a little bit odd, but the city will do that to people, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead and roll me another perception.
Oh god. Ooh, this one's better. 25.
Okay. You walk up up the steps of the Quad Iron Inn. You see, it looks like it looks like somebody's moving some boxes and stuff. You don't remember who else is in the inn, but it looks like they're leaving. And you walk in and you see Emmett. sprawled out on one of the tables. He's got... How many guns do you have?
I have
3?
3 guns, 9 knives, 2 long swords, 3 short swords, 2 spike chains. No, 1 spike chain. Dumbass still has the other one.
Yes.
Um,
So to describe what you're doing with all of these weapons, how many are visible, how many are not?
they're probably all on the table visible, as well as my breastplate, my chainmail, because I took it all off because I was working really hard.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there with my shirt unbuttoned, all sweaty and dirty. There's probably at least 1 or 2 glasses that are empty now, or cups. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sitting there.
And you wanted just the ale. You didn't want the wine.
No.
Right?
It's probably ale. Because even though I've quit drinking, this is the only thing that is clean to drink. So you kind of have to suck it up and realize. So I'm probably just drinking some light ale.
Okay. So, Inari, you and your father walk in. You see Emmett sprawled out, all the weapons on the table. He's very busy cleaning one of his guns with a dirty rag. Can you help her, please?
I don't know how to help her, but I'll try.
Grab one of the napkins and then just get the string out of her nose. Sorry, everyone on Twitch that's listening. My cat is sneezing because she has allergies and she's snotting.
Gross.
It's not a problem.
Poor baby.
You got it all over you. You're gross.
Anyway, so
I think I got it all. I
yeah,
don't know.
that's fine. You're good as long.
I'm back.
Yes, GM Cat does think springtime is bullshit.
Yep.
Fuck springtime.
So,
Am I so engrossed that I don't notice her?
I will let you decide.
No, I'm not. When I see her walk in...
You have been waiting for her to come in.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I would be. My cheeks are slightly rosy from all the work and dehydration and a bit of ale. So, as Inari comes walking in, I'll stop what I'm doing. I smile. And then I stop smiling just for a moment. I adjust myself, and I act very odd. Not in the sense of like acting weird, but like I fidget, like I button my shirt, I clear some stuff out of the way, and then I stand up and I walk across the room toward her. Inari, good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Emmett.
How are you feeling? And I'm trying to express Emmett talking in a very soft and pleasant tone, as if, you know...
Not his usual
Rough.
directness.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm feeling very well, thank you. Emmett, this is my father. And I'll kind of like turn and point, like introduce my father to Emmett.
What was his name?
What is his name?
Takashi.
Yeah.
Takashi Okahama.
Okay, so you just said, this is my father. I'll extend my hand to him. Emmett Brown. Porter.
Takashi Okama.
I'm going to give him the manly handshake.
Oh, goodness.
And then I see that he flinches a little bit. I let off. It's like,
Does he flinch, though?
I don't know. Let's check it out. Do it.
He has very strong hands, but they're
So-
very soft.
He looks like... he looks like he's some sort of, poof from, a rich person. Like, he's wearing nice clothes. He's obviously got money. He's got some sort of really weird-looking thing on his wrist.
But does he have soft hands? Because that's how I judge men.
He has soft hands, but in certain spots where he holds the very delicate tools that he has to use, because he makes clockwork, small clockwork items. very,
Mhm.
very small ones. That's where the calluses have.
So he's
he
got
has
calluses on his.
Mhm.
He's a worked man. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
So
Yeah.
he doesn't have the calluses that a lot of people do on the palms of their hands. His are all on his fingers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I would
Yeah, feel it.
notice in a handshake.
Mhm.
Soft hands have a particular feel to them.
Yeah.
So, I am Emmett Brown. Good to meet you, sir.
It's good to meet another friend of Inari's.
She is very crafty with machines.
Indeed. I believe she's learned a lot in her time here.
Yes. She has learned a lot while being here, and she has said had successful job with working here with engineers. Very good job.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure those skills will be put to good use.
Yes. She was very helpful in the many things and times that we worked together. I was on caravan when she came into town.
Oh, another caravan.
Yes.
The same caravan.
The roads are never
Caravan where?
safe when you travel through this area. Never. But she showed much bravery and insight that impressed me. Very well so. There have been many things. I do not know if you are aware of what Corvis has gone through recently.
Yes, I am aware. That's actually why I came.
She has proven herself to be above and beyond an exceller. She will be greatly missed. And I turn to Inari and smile. I have to go check a few more things. And I'm going to go step out to make sure the rest of the wagon is packed properly.
Excellent.
I stand there with a confused look on my face. Because why am I going to be missed?
I turn and say, well, the wagon is almost packed. I understand. I mean, it was inevitable. What we did, was not helpful to you.
And your father will step in, and he will put his hand on you very gently, and be like, Inari, it's time to come home.
No.
My face will
I
change
just
at
think-
this point in time, like, what?
No.
But your
I'm
bags
not
are
going
packed.
home.
But your bags are
Why
packed.
Why are my bags packed?
Because it's...
My bag should not be
it's
packed.
Well, it is, sweetheart.
Um,
It's too
No.
dangerous place here. You've learned much here, but it's time for you to come home. You're needed there.
No. No, I have things that I have to do here. I still have things that I have to learn. I found Taka, and he actually understands some of the things that I'm building. I mean, he was building the same thing. And he's ridiculously smart. And that means I'm ridiculously smart whenever it comes to these things, and I need to further my education. He said that we might work together. Like, just me, like, if I don't... Okay, so this is gonna sound bad. But I kind of got fired because of an incident that happened at the works. But whenever I brought my things, my schematics up to Taka, he said that if they didn't take me back, we were going to start our own shop. We were gonna work on it together. I can't leave, Father. I can't. And it's out of the question.
So
No.
I've gone completely blank. My face has gone from like this emotional, because I really thought I was about to lose. She was leaving, and I was accepting it. But now I'm like, oh shit, asshole's playing a quick card. I've been duped. Time to unload and unpack.
Yep.
Da Inari. Inari,
Yes.
are you staying?
Yes, I'm staying.
Do you need a porter to unload your bags?
Yes, please unload my belongings and bring them back up to my room.
Inari.
And tell Art Harvey.
Inari.
No!
Inari!
father?
So like the whole place is just like dead silent. You can hear a pin drop on a piece of on 3 mattresses.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So, you'll have to give me a moment. I know that there's a lot of stuff that you want to do, so just give me a second. Okay? Because I'm not as fast sometimes.
Keep going. You good.
Alright.
Good.
Inari, I know that you're smart, and I know there are so many things that you can do, but there are things that you can that are, it's too dangerous here. And he's lowered his voice after that because he realized that he's probably like embarrassed you and kind of embarrassed himself. So he's like, but it is dangerous here. I only sent you here to drop off a project. I expected you back, and then you said you wanted to stay a little longer. A little longer doesn't mean forever, Inari. It's been long enough.
So, from her normal stance, her posture changes. I mean, she stands up straight. She has her shoulders down and back and her head up, and her father sees glimmers of how her mother used to stand her ground.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this very, I don't want to say stubbornness, but resolute stance. So, I understand that I was only supposed to be here for a very short amount of time, but I have found a piece of myself here that I did not know that I had inside of me. And I believe at this point in time, even though it may be dangerous, I have friends around me that will take care, no, not take care, that will support me. They'll be there for me. And I don't think I have to go. I understand that you missed me and you will continue to get my letters, but I have to follow this through. And it won't be forever. I will come home and I'll bring a wealth of knowledge with me and better myself. Or maybe I'll open a shop and then you can come here to a big city. Maybe not even here, maybe a bigger city. And it'll be better. And I'll be better for it. I can't leave. And I won't leave. And I'm sorry if I disappoint you, but I have to do this for myself.
Your father you see that, like, the way that he looks at you is not with anger but with sorrow. And so he has tears that are forming in his eyes, and it's Inari, I can't support this.
And I'll go ahead.
It's like this is
This is not the life I want you to have.
exactly. Yeah, this is not the life that I want you to have.
But this is the life I need.
So, your father will take a moment and he will look around the room. Not in not in a challenging way, but just like looking at the life that his daughter is choosing for herself and the people that she's choosing for herself. And his eyes kind of rest on you for a second. Are you looking up or are you looking?
Oh, I
Yeah.
make eye contact.
Yeah.
Right now I'm not making eye contact, but
No.
yes, my character would make eye contact
Yeah.
and hold it. He keeps his normal resting bitch face.
Mm-hmm.
He's back in game mode, you know?
Yeah, right?
As soon as he figured out he was being duped. Which was he was being duped by himself. 'Cause
Yeah.
He believed Harvey.
Because he believed Harvey. Yeah. Well, Harvey didn't know any better.
Yeah. Well, you know, in all honesty, he really thought you got fired. That's why you were leaving.
Yeah, so
I mean, seriously, he thought he got you fired. He was upset.
So, like, if this is the life you choose, then you'll do it on your own. You will no longer get any support from me. I will not send you any money.
I understand. I would never ask that on you either.
Although you haven't, because he's always sent you money, so there's that.
I don't remember getting no money. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you did. You got in with a lot of
Who
money.
paid for the quad iron?
Your
When
dad-
was the last time in the last few months that you paid for the quad iron?
You
No,
haven't.
I did. I had money left over.
You never
Whose
said you-
money?
Whose money? Your daddy's money.
No, I mean, I guess.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah, it was your daddy's money. He's got money, honey. And he's
I
been paying
know.
for your lifestyle in the fancy city. And now he's not gonna anymore.
That's fine. I can make my own way. This is something I have to do. And I hope you understand that. Whenever you went out on your own and learned your trade and got good at what you do, I want the same thing. I need the world I need to experience the world. And I understand it's big and it's scary and things could happen, but I will always come home.
So, your father, is not really going to say anything else here. He's actually going to give a single nod and take a very deep breath that's kind of shaky and just walks out of the quad iron inn. What do you do?
So, like, the Sarah part of me is like, run after him, you can do it. But Inari is like, I need to stand my ground. Stay there. Don't show weakness. Okay. Father. And then I'll kind of walk out to the door before he leaves. Will you at least stay for dinner? My treat.
I have to go. I've been away from my work too long.
I understand. And in Sylvan, I'll say, I love you, and I always will.
So yeah, he shakes his head, like he gives a nod. The kind of nod where you know he's thinking of something to say, but
Before
yeah.
he says anything, I'll bow very, 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 like, extremely low. And then slowly walk back inside. So he doesn't have to say anything. Because he knows that I love him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's important. So he doesn't have to anymore.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed that roller coaster.
It was terrible. Thanks.
You're welcome.
That was awful.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
No.
I mean, you could have just left and it would have been fine.
Nope. She got shit to do.
Father would still love me.
Shit to. Are you saying my father doesn't love me? How
It's
dare
like-
you?
It's not.
How dare you?
Oh,
So I'm.
I want to jump in real quick. I
Yeah.
poured her like supreme skills. I move all her shit, his shit. I reorganize as quickly as possible. I do it like I'm a cocaine addict about to get a 5 kilo reward for getting this shit straight, fast, and quick.
Yeah. Oh god.
I work hard. I don't break things. I just get it done.
Well, that's fine. That's
With
fine.
or without help.
Yeah.
And if somebody tries to stop me, I put my boot in their face. We just loaded that. Stop.
What time is
So-
what time of day is this?
It's still in the afternoon, so it's like about 3 o'clock or so.
Okay.
Yeah, so, no.
Yeah. Well, Nefera's going to head over at 4 with her books and the papers hidden in her
Yes.
bag.
Yes, my goal is to have everyone over at dinner so they can, like, watch Inari cry because her daddy left.
Who said Inari's gonna cry?
She's totally gonna cry! She's totally gonna cry. And all it's gonna take is somebody asking where your father is, and you're gonna lose it because that's what Inari does. It's okay to admit that she cries. It's okay.
No,
Yeah.
she's a different. No, this is a new stage in her life. She's
Yeah.
a strong,
Yeah.
independent,
Yeah.
small child in a very big city.
Yeah.
No, but she will be as strong as possible, and she will try not to. She's probably not going to cry in front of people, but as soon as she gets back up to her room, she's done for. Like, at some point in the night, Harvey probably knocks on the door. It's like, Miss Inari.
Some of the other guests are complaining about the noise.
She is going to take a moment. She'll walk in and find Emmett and give him a hug and say thank you for, like, moving all the things, and also could you join us for dinner tonight?
I'm probably still moving boxes, taking her upstairs. I'm not stopping. If she comes to hug me, I'll shift the crate to the other shoulder, give her a half hug, and say, "Duh, I'll be there." No questions asked. And I
Okay.
keep moving her shit upstairs.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Let's do dinner.
Yeah, let's do dinner.
So we can
Yeah.
close this chapter of the
Yeah.
book.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, it's Nefera, you arrive.
After having stopped
Yep.
off for some candy and some sweet buns,
Yeah.
and are there still boxes around?
No, at this point everything's been moved around. The cart is not there, so you would have never realized that there was anything amiss.
Okay, I walk in, look around, probably not successfully.
What are you looking
Okay,
for?
I got a 15. Just scanning the room.
Okay, yeah, you see Harvey's behind the bar doing some cleanup. You see Emmett is at a table with a lot of his weapons out. Looks like he's been cleaning them. And you see Inari next to him. Inari, what are you doing? Sitting there moping?
Writing?
Ah,
no,
right.
no, absolutely not. I do not mope in front of people. I will not mope in front of people. I have some other schematics out in front of me. I've kind of made a little, like, pushed knives to make, like, a little,
Path.
Yeah.
yeah, like a path so I could put my papers down and kind of spread them out just a little bit so I'm not taking up too much room. And I'm looking at the schematic for McGrab and Stab and just kind of, like, you know, trying to brainstorm new things to put on him. Maybe a better stabby
Yeah.
hand. Who knows?
So you're playing with one of my daggers or something? Like, staring at it?
I'm just kind of, like, looking at the dagger.
Then I would be teaching you about, that'd be like, the balance is right above the here, when you hold it, and I'll take, because I use balanced throwing dagger, so I'm going to stick my finger out, I'm going to put the blade on it and show that it sits perfectly still. You know, and so I'm teaching you about knives.
Okay,
Excellent.
and then I make little notes as he's talking, and then I look up, and then I kind of look, and then I make more notes.
Okay, so yeah, that's what you're walking into.
Sarah's gonna walk over and look at the schematics.
Okay.
This is human magic. She's still fascinated with it.
Excellent.
Probably doesn't understand a thing about it, but
Okay. So, is there... You all begin to arrive at dinner. Is there anything that you all want to accomplish or do at dinner? Like, what the hell? Oh, I see. Go ahead. John?
Yeah, I will inquire the whereabouts of Inari's father. Will he be joining us?
Oh, are you okay, Emmett?
Duh.
My father had another engagement back home that he needed to take care of. So he left.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Let's see, would it be a fortitude or a will save to not cry? Will save.
and I rolled a sense motive, and I rolled really well. I actually rolled a 20.
Nice.
You said will save?
Yes.
21.
Okay, she's fine.
I got a 17 on a sense motive.
I mean, I'm gonna blubber like a little baby whenever you guys are gone.
So, you rolled a 20, Nefera?
Mhm.
Okay, so, yeah, you're holding it together for the average bear. Nefera, you sense that something is not right.
Well, it's her spidey sense when it comes to father issues.
Yeah, so you don't know exactly what, something must have happened between them, and, she looks like maybe her eyes are a little puffy, and, slightly bloodshot, because, she went up to her room and scratched her eyes a bunch.
Humans do that.
Yeah.
Blow their eyes out.
What, humans do that?
Like, just rub your eye until you irritate it. That must have, So,
And he
yeah.
got the sweet buns and put it in front of her.
Okay.
It's all one with food.
Yes. Food will solve all the problems. So,
Oh, that reminds
Or at
me.
least the
We
ones
should
that
probably
The short sword. No.
put our orders in for dinner. I'll go take care of that and I'll run away.
all right. Who wants to talk about things while Inari's not there?
I'm just going to lean into sharpening my knife.
No. You don't want to make sure all of her friends are informed?
Yeah, I wait till she's like actually gone far enough away to lean in and go. Inari was cut off from funding from her father. Inari was cut off from funding from her father. He has stated his disapproval with the city, with us, with everything. We are not to what he wanted for her.
Well, to be fair, we kind of do suck.
Duh, we do. I showed up today to find her room was being packed into cart. I thought it'd be my fault because of the whole thing at the workshop that she was choosing to leave. At least that's how Harvey said it, but Harvey's a fucking liar. And I say that loud enough for if you can hear me.
He shouts out as Harvey walks into the room.
I knew
Just walk into the kitchen, God.
when it sort of like reach for her book and then pull her hand back. Like, I don't really know how to handle this, but I know that burying myself in my own father issues is not the answer right now.
all these daddy issues, man. So
So she was. I thought she was leaving for one reason. Turned out her father had decided she was to go, and she decided that she was not to go. So I helped her unpack. She has been. What do you Signarans call it? Train wreck. Since then, she holding together like. Ow, shut the bitch. Someone just clawed me.
She seems like she's doing very well.
She is.
Actually.
She's holding
She's
together.
holding it together.
She's holding it together very well.
She's a strong
It's okay.
girl.
There's
She'll make it through.
that's okay. There's a railroad tie about 2 miles up ahead.
Damn it.
That'll cause some problems.
Damn it!
So,
And then I walk around the corner.
Yeah, she's coming back.
You guys don't hear me.
yeah, I'll make a stealth roll
We're looking
if
for
you're
you.
gonna do that.
I mean,
I'm pretty
seriously,
sure
we got caught
he's-
reading your diary.
Yeah.
We read your diary. We ruined your job. We got you caught up in a zombie invasion. We're terrible people.
Horrible people.
Dragged you into a forest with a dragon. I mean, seriously,
Yeah,
you chose bad friends.
Your father is right.
I didn't say that.
You
I
should.
just said we're
Oh,
horrible.
yeah. Yeah.
What's up?
Hold on.
I rolled a 19 on my stealth.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Emmett got that covered,
Yeah, I just got to get.
or at least, or Nefera. She always has it
Funny.
covered. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I got a 26.
You should totally like.
Well, everybody else
like
is doing it. I might as well.
you should be like,
I don't-
your father
I
is
don't
right.
see
We
you.
are terrible people.
What?
We're
I
not a
don't
good
see you.
influence on you. You should totally pull that like code and just be like, it's like my
As I
father.
walk around the
It's like
corner.
your father's
yeah.
not a bad father.
Yeah, okay.
My father is, so
Yeah,
then you
okay.
can share dad stories.
Okay.
He's observant, not searching.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got a 25.
So
Whatever.
I got a 27 because as I'm sitting there and I'm making a joke toward Harvey, Harvey looks over, then he's got that big eye look as he realizes what we're talking about. He sees you and I'm like, oh shit. Watching the crowd.
Yeah. All right. So Inari, you come back. You see that they all suddenly stop talking as you approach the table.
We're also leaning into the table like we are having quiet conversation.
Hi, Inari. How are you doing? Is everything going okay?
Look. I understand that my father has gone, and you may not think me fit to stay here either, but I'll have you know that I don't know what I can do. I just needed this. And, yeah. So, don't pity me.
You assume much. I do think you will be okay here.
Yeah, and I'll say here, and raise my glass of whatever is in front of me.
We're gonna let
Yeah.
we're gonna let Robin say something too, since we're all going around the table.
Farrah's just sort of going to give you a questioning, like what does? Why would I think you're not fit to be here? You're more aware of this place than I am. And reach out, pull out another sweet gun, and put it in the
I'll have you know. I like that, Jeff.
pull out, and I'm gonna look at it when I pull it out and try and see. It's like, is this one I know she likes? 'Cause I've been around her and sweets a couple times, so like, is this something she likes? And I know she likes, and put it in front of her with the other one.
And after she takes the sweet, I will pull my ale toward me, sit back, tip my hat back in my casual Emmett style. Your father was right, though. We're terrible people. We don't do good things. We do terrible things. But your father's right. He's a good man. And he has taken good care of you. And you're smart for what you've done. I mean, my father beat me, chained me to a pole, and left me for distraction for slave pirates as they invaded our home. That's what my father did. He only wishes the best for you.
Holy shit, that's fucked up.
I turn and look at him. Da. If one day I go home, he will be the first I kill. But you make good choice.
And bad choice.
You make good choice and bad choice, but that is how life goes. We are stuck with what we do and how we go about it, and for here and as long as possible, you have us four to be there by your side to help you fuck up along the way.
So here's the fucking up. That's it, right?
To the fuck up.
Go ahead. Who is facing towards the door of the inn at
That
this
would be
point?
me, always.
Fantastic.
To the fuck ups.
So she stands up and does it. So here's the fucking up, right as Father Dumas stands in the doorway.
Duh. And I just raise my drink. I don't say anything. I just raise, and I'm smiling, the shit eating grin smile. And then I do that point behind you.
Oh, Father Dumas, how great to see. I kind of like fumble my drink. I put it down, and then I like, I'm like backing up to him. Like, it's so nice to see you.
Nefera actually does look to try and make sure that Inari doesn't put it on her papers.
Oh, good call. So at least somebody's paying attention. So, yeah, I figured that'd be a great segue into what we're about to do.
That's awesome.
You're welcome.
So, Father Dumas gives a very sly, fatherly smile, like, you know, the I caught you doing something you weren't supposed to, kids these days kind of thing, you know. I'm really like, and then he said, "Oh, my friends, I didn't think I would be so lucky to find all of you here at one time. This is most fortuitous." Silence.
At this point, I'm just got like a finger up, and I was about to say something witty or charismatic, and I just got nothing.
What can we help you with, Father?
So the father will wave over to Harvey, who then looks to be pouring drinks and bringing them over to the table for Father Dumas. He will sit and join you.
I clear off some of my weapons and move some of her papers.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I grab all of my papers and kind of shuffle them into my book and like close it and put it in my bag.
So how are you all doing? He will ask first. Is that Emmett's response?
Kind of a loaded. That's a loaded question, Father Dumas.
Was everything all right?
Of course. Everything's fine.
Duh.
How can we help you?
It's all good.
It's all right.
Well-
He failed his sentence motive, so yeah, everything's fine.
He's distracted
He's a
right now.
terrible father.
He's got other things on his mind right now, so
Yeah, his,
your problems are not important to him. He just
Someone he
no.
loves recently raised the dead.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on.
And grave robbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
and
in trouble.
and totally betrayed him
Yeah, she's gonna be grounded so
for
hard.
life. Like, well, my friends, a toast to you all. I cannot thank you enough for your help in our recent trying times. And then so he'll raise his glass and drink some for.
Here to the longest night.
So he takes a nice long drink.
Like drains 3/4 of a glass.
Well, that's why he, it's the type of long drink, which is why he ordered 2 cups. And sets down the empty cup, and then leans forward. He says, I wish that I could say that it's over, but I'm afraid that I must ask for your help once again. So he's lowered his voice. He's leaned forward, being very, quiet about it. He said, I have learned where my errant niece is off to, and someone must try to stop her. And I hope that I can count on you all to do it. The prelate, Father Dumas, pauses and looks at each of you individually, then takes the other drink and takes just a regular-sized drink before putting it back down. And then he says, my research into her recent studies and extensive divinations lead me to believe that Alexia is on her way to a hidden temple of Cyrus. The church has long believed that there was a haven. Oh, should I do a dramatic pause again for the Temple of Cyrus? Dun dun dun. Okay, move forward.
Yes.
The church has long believed there was a haven for this cult northeast of Corvis, although we have never known its exact location. You'll need to find the temple, try to beat Alexia there, and stop her. In my divinations, the dark sword she holds shows as a dire omen. I think she plans some unholy ritual. We can't leave it in her hands. Recover that blade, but be wary of it. It may be cursed. I'm not sure what can be done about my niece. But if you can return with her, please try. Recovery of the sword, though, is the first priority.
Father, you ask a very... She is powerful. Powerful spellcaster. Look what she did.
I know what I'm asking you is not safe, but you have proved yourself very capable indeed.
If not us, then who?
And you know her.
I just gave up drinking.
You're just gonna give us complete another
Yeah.
What does that have to do with
Anything.
I can see her staring at me weird. I look over. You and I have to have very long talk about what it's like to be human. You have no knowledge of what it's like to be us. We are very weak and strong and weak, and it's very crazy and weird, and I should stop now.
He's right. Humans are complicated. My niece is complicated.
I give a nod to Father Dumas, like, bam, humans, we're great. Elves, you're weird. Put on your green suit and go home. No, I don't say that, though.
That's rude.
I know, right?
Racist.
Elves are weird. She's got a giant sword almost longer than hers. She flicks it around with one goddamn hand. That's not normal.
I wonder what he would think of us.
Don't even take your skins off, people. I will start shooting.
So yeah. He's like,
So she's got quite a head start on us. We probably shouldn't hang out too long if we're trying to beat her there.
Nah, we have a lot to do before we can head out. We have to get things organized. Do we have an idea where this would even be? I mean, how far away?
yeah.
How many weeks of walking, riding? We're gonna have to steal some horses.
Well, first you have to figure out the exact location of the temple. We don't know, but there might be city academics, or you might be able to find local members of the cult, or somebody has to know something.
I might have a lead.
What?
Nothing.
Da?
I'll take care of it tomorrow.
Hello?
Yes.
Staring at Inari strangely. I have a lot to get to be prepared. I can find us horses. We need to figure out how far we need to go. There's a lot we need to do. Father, we're going to need money to pay for food, supplies, and unless you want me to steal 5 horses, I would suggest you supply us with either horses or money to purchase them.
I've already spoken with Captain Hellstrom about that. He's going.
Oh, Hellstrom.
He is our ally.
I go back into my drink.
When Father Dumas says
He's like he
Hellstrom
is like
ally, I'm
he
not
is our
confused.
ally,
He is our
and he
ally.
is my friend.
I keep in my drink.
He's giving you that look
My
like,
boss.
don't talk about my friends
Okay.
bad. I will punch you so hard.
I know you punch me
He
so
will
hard.
too. He's got fists like meat tenderizers.
Let's see. I rolled a knowledge religion
Mhm.
for Cult of Cyrus. Got a 23.
Okay, so yeah, as you've been deciphering and learning how to read and all this stuff, you have found other things about the Cult of Cyrus, mostly stuff in passing and in like different journals and things that you've picked up and and thumbed through. You know.
But nothing really specific.
Well, hold on. You know that Cyrus is known as the Clockwork Goddess. Oh, you want to mute that, Jay?
I'm trying. Everything just
Okay.
fucked up on my TV. Sorry. I can't see anything. My whole screen went black. But
Oh no. Okay, that's weird. So, but you know that Cyrus is also known as the Clockwork Goddess. Her worship is a relatively new phenomenon that's picked up within the last few centuries. You know, you have an understanding that one of the ways that they worship Cyrus is by constructing temples in secret away from prying eyes. And it's also rumored that each temple is actually some sort of giant machine.
Hey, I'm gonna have to log off.
Okay.
I'll probably see you guys next time
Okay,
because it's by
Alright.
the time I get everything fixed, it'll be
no worries.
time to go.
Okay.
Night, Jay.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Let's see, what else would you... let's see...
Hey, if you want to kick me from the throne thing, because I can't do it myself.
Okay, let me see. Did it. Figured it out. Hold on one second. Let's see if there's anything else. No, so those are the things that you know, about Cyrus, in passing. There's not a whole lot of information. You know that it's actually a very secretive religion. It's nothing like Moro. It's nothing like Minoff.
It's not, and it's nothing like Ios or
No.
Nisor.
It's very secretive, which is why they call it a cult instead of, a lot of people outside of it don't see it as a religion. They see it as a cult.
Sneezing kitten.
I'm working on
Yeah.
it, baby. Come back here. I know, it's terrible. Hold still.
Since
Oh,
she
God.
knows it's so
Oh, my
secretive,
God.
she's going to give Inari a curious
You got it on
look.
your face and
Inari
your
actually
first
looks
heart.
back. She's going to
You okay?
turn
Oh, that's so terrible. Oh, yeah. It's
and,
okay.
like,
Hold her.
uh,
You want to show your mommy?
She
we'll talk about
She's
this
just running off.
later.
You guys get the rest
When
of
we
it
go
out.
over the paperwork.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we have this stuff. Let's see. Will you please?
Oh my goodness.
What is...
She came to you for a reason.
Hold on.
I'm on it.
Thank you.
Hold still. Hold still. I said hold still.
Poor little brat. So, I'm probably gonna have to give her some Benadryl.
Okay, there you go. Okay, she good.
Let's see. So yeah, that's the stuff that you know, in passing, Nefera, and that it's a very secretive, organization. Let's see, what will Dumas be able to provide knowledge-wise? Let's see. So, as you're thinking, as you're remembering all the things you said, and that the temples are like, they could possibly be large machines of some kind, Father Dumas will also tell you, leaning in closer and, being a lot more quiet, because this is more of a rumor mill and he's not necessarily a rumor monger. But he says that in this instance, it's rumored that the machinery in the temple can bring the dead back to life.
Oh, good.
I think that Alexia has it in her mind to try to resurrect her mother. I know that that's not possible. It's like, I know that resurrections can only be performed by the highest priests in Caspia, in the capital. That's where they're the ones who get to decide who's worthy of resurrection. So she has it in her mind that this could bring back her mother. Resurrection is not something that just happens. It's a very rare and frequent miracle, and we aren't the ones who get to decide that. She's not the one who gets to decide that. But I think in her unbalanced state that she will cling to anything to give her any hope, however misguided that is. You okay?
Yep, I'm fine.
Silence.
Yeah. Well, I don't know
You
about
can put them
everyone
in.
else, but
Yeah.
Yeshurm is like having flashbacks to all the zombie undead hordes that were attacking us, and
You need to be a
now
part
we
of
have
this.
to go after the one that raised them again.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
So,
Definitely have to take another look at those papers with my new book to see if there's any remote similarity.
say that again.
Because remember, the book it grabbed her attention the second time because she saw runic magic, runes in it. So she wants to go back through to make sure there's no fundamental similarity.
Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to go through that right now. That's going to take you some time to research.
And she's also showing Inari her book.
Okay, definitely. So, yeah, that'll give you an opportunity to do a little research. You have some ideas on where you can look and what you think you might be able to put together to help out.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have not gotten an answer as to whether or not you all will assist.
I look at Emmett.
I can see that she needs help. I am willing to do it.
I mean, I know that Alexia has done some terrible things. Unforgivable things, but that cannot mean that she's beyond redemption. If you can get her to return as well, then I think that we can help her recover. However slow and painful and difficult that journey will be for her, if it's possible at all. I would rather see her escape than know that you have killed her. However, but the sword must be brought back.
Why?
Because it is cursed. It will bring nothing but ruin on anybody who wields it. It's a dire omen.
So we should destroy it.
It's magic. You cannot destroy magic.
Knowledge Arcana 30.
Yeah, in this world you can't destroy magic items. Once they're there, they're there. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get the sword back, and then we'll hire a ship, and we'll sail out into the middle of the ocean, and we'll drop the sword there. Nobody will ever find it out.
Yeah, except for the hordes of undead that live in the island over the ocean. That'll be cool. Bring that sword closer to them. Good idea.
Alright. Terrible idea. We should not do that.
Cool.
The Cyraxians, I believe. I can't remember what they're Crixians.
Crixians.
Christians, yeah.
It's like crispy, but with an X on the end. I mean, just real quick, this is player question. He hasn't mentioned anything about us getting paid.
No, he hasn't.
I mean, I'm lawful neutral, not
He's-
lawful good.
he's
I like to get paid.
However, he
And
has
I-
said
even though my character has a passion for Alexia, that's rather inappropriate.
So,
well, he did say that Captain Hellstrom was going to be assisting with financial responsibilities, so you might need to ask questions.
Yeah, so just want to point out he hasn't said anything about money. Somebody should bring that up.
I'll take up that mantle, being the new savvy adult woman. I'm not poor.
About soon to be impoverished. How much money does Inari have right now?
Shit, we should all have a couple of $100 gold pieces.
Gold?
I want to
Yeah.
know how many gold pieces you have on your character sheet.
329.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I have 300 gold pieces in mixed gems. I also have a metal dissolver, which goes for a fine price.
You probably just should have been like, "Oh yeah, Dad. Well, here's all the money back," and then
No, why
That
am I
would-
gonna tell him that? If he wants to go about his business, that's fine.
There you go. All right, we'll talk to the priest
I have
about
to
money.
show him.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk to the priest
yeah,
about money.
it's not about your daddy issues anymore right now. It's about money.
I know. Oh God, you're the one that brought up my daddy issues.
Of course, I have to.
Okay. Father Dumas, as this will be taking away time from our regular work weeks and study weeks, I believe there should be some sort of compensation for our time.
Duh. That's me doing a diplomacy roll assist.
Bam.
By going, duh.
That's funny. So, Father Damasnos is like, I understand, and as I mentioned, Captain Hellstrom is going to be making arrangements for your compensation.
Do you know what that compensation is, or do we have to take it up with him?
I'll look over at Yashirim. I think your friend can manage it just fine.
I look to Yashira.
I will find out.
And I'll be going with you.
I can find out,
I will go with you.
and you'll be with me.
Duh, because it would be terrible if I win. Yeah.
I'm making money.
No.
All right.
So, we will go out first thing in the morning because I have an appointment at noon.
All right. So,
Alright.
at this point, you all are kind of agreeing to it if you get paid.
Pretty much, yeah, we're kind of agreeing to it if there's money involved because we can't just walk away from our lives to solve a problem. The church, I mean, I can. It's me, though.
I can't. I have shit to do.
But you might be saving the world.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
character's not a hero.
You're not. No, your character's not.
I'm not a
We're
hero.
all pretty self-sufficient, so we can like go off into the woods and live in, you know.
Self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient.
Does that mean if we get scrubbed up against something rough, we start bubbling?
No, that's a surfactant. Self-surfactant.
Surfactant. We bubble on our own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
All
Let's
right.
let's make some money off this.
All right. Well, it's 10:30, so I think that we can call game here.
Yes.
And awesome. So yeah, excellent work.
Yeah, that was fun.
I wanted to make sure that we got to showcase a little bit more of Yashirim's plans that have been going on, so he could see some sort of fruits from all of that labor. And then, yeah, your daddy wasn't gonna come here just to be like,
How are you?
It's like,
How you doing?
yeah, he was like, okay, well, it's either I'm gonna bring back her corpse or I'm gonna bring back my daughter. And he wasn't really anticipating anything else like that.
I was such a good listener.
Yeah.
Whenever I was younger.
Yeah, I mean, if you had actually been a little bit more nice to your father instead of yelling and being a whiny little brat, like you totally did. You totally did. He had to raise his voice to you. When was the last time you had to do that?
He wasn't listening.
You were not listening because you just kept talking and whining.
It might have been whining to you, but it wasn't whining to me.
It was the sound of independence in her little squeaky voice.
You sounded like the porcupine, except except much
Can we get
faster
to the
pace.
point of where this is going? Because
No.
it's 10:30 at night.
No, there's no point. I just wanted to say.
Yeah, you wanted to showcase that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Because
Jay texted me
Yeah.
early in the night going, hey, give me some help on thinking of something to converse with the Inari's father with. So I batted a bunch of stuff out, and he picked one of them. And I was like, hey, can I voice the porcupine? He's like, sure. I was like, yeah.
so yeah, everybody did great, excellent work, putting yourselves into the situations and showcasing your characters' eccentricities. I really enjoyed it. And next time we are going to officially begin the chapter 2 of the longest of the Witchefire trilogy. Yep.
Do we get to level?
No.
Aw.
Nope. When was the last time you leveled? What level are you guys anyway?
I don't know. What am I, 6, 7,
Five.
5?
5.
5?
We don't need a level.
You don't
we
need
did-
a level.
We had fun.
You're fine. You don't need to level from just straight up role playing. Don't you have to fight stuff? I'm pretty sure that's the
This
rules.
game is all about fighting and murdering
Yeah.
people.
No.
Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, thanks for everyone who stuck around for a little while and listened to our
Live stream.
live stream. If you all are liking what we do, we also have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/originalboxset. We've got several different tiers of options for you to be involved in what we do. And if not, please, follow us on Twitch, and whenever we come on and do our games, then you'll be able to be informed and come join us too. And with that, I'm stopping the stream.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.